Isn't this a great podcast for you to join on, Salem? The one that has all the errors and glitches? Perfect.
That's fine, man. I'm not a tech guy either, so.
Well, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna see if I can find it. It says we're live now.
Oh, Jesus
live.
Christ! Holy crap! There's a huge giant beetle crawling across me. Yep. Oh God! Get out! Get out! I don't want you here. I'm gonna. Oh, it's a lightning bug. Okay, no. I take back what I said. You're awesome.
That's
interesting. You're live now, Matt.
Oh, we are.
Like, yep.
Yeah.
Well, hi everybody. You did not.
You're live now,
lightning bug.
Matt.
Oh, we are lightning bugs. This is probably the most chaotic start to a podcast that we've had so far, I think. So now I have a link. I can post it on Twitter and get them peoples in here.
Get them peoples. Yep, I'm gonna share it out.
Sweet, thank you. Much appreciated.
Yeah, it's a shame you can't update the name. Like that's kind of like a Wikid Publishing live stream. I guess you'll have to do it afterwards.
I can edit it. I believe that is one thing I did test yesterday that worked. I was able to edit it, and it actually updated midstream once I refreshed the page. But yeah, I know that's like I said. There are some weird things about it that's like,
yeah.
I need to iron out the kinks. For sure. So yeah, let me go ahead and add that. But like I said, we were kind of going over how you guys were doing when we were trying to get the live stream to work earlier, and you guys were kind of mentioning. I think you guys mentioned we're both pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of yard work.
Seems like you're always doing yard work, man.
It's not on my choice. I'd rather be working on other things, but sometimes reality has to take priority over your personal projects and your other stuff.
Yeah, totally understand that. Responsibilities come knocking.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to be waiting. But yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to make it to the podcast and that we were actually able to get it to work.
Yeah, little technical difficulties, but hey, that's all good. So, unfortunately, the downside is, there's no backgrounds or stuff.
Yeah, it's like all black.
It's all black, but that's okay. Maybe let me see if I can do a test. Maybe pop up my Indiegogo and see. I wonder if will that go over?
I'm not sure.
Let's give it a try. I am screen sharing right now. So let me stop there and see what happens. Nope, went to still black. So
I could add in a video module. Let's see if that actually works. I can do a window capture, and then go to the Hangouts video call and say okay. But then I think it just becomes a white screen for some reason.
Hey, it's all good.
Hey, maybe they'd like to stare at a white box.
Hey, white box.
Hey, look at that, guys! It's like one of the old video games. We've got white box here. Oh gosh.
Yeah. But yeah, things are actually been pretty busy on my end here. We launched the campaign last night, so thanks to the guys that came in last night. I know you and Scott stopped by last night. We got right out the gate, we got $175, so I'm quite happy. So we are over, I would say, at least a quarter of the way being funded. So that's good.
That's a great start. You're on your way to making that goal already.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small goal. I like to get a little bit higher than 500, but realistically, we set 500 just to help because I would still like to get Jay Shiro on for the lettering because it just takes one less thing off of my plate that I have to do. Because already as it is, I have to assemble the comic and I have to do all the credits, and then I got to work with you on getting all that other stuff. So if I could get the lettering farmed out to somebody else, I would love to be able to do that. But we need to be able to raise enough money to do that. So
Yeah. So it kind of depends on really how the campaign unfolds.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But we got 30 days. I mean, I'll put us in full swing. Ginger says she thinks she can definitely be, done with the coloring by August. So as I get those pages in from her, I'll be able to, start lettering and stuff like that. So hopefully, if we don't get enough, if we meet our goal, which is great. But if we meet our goal, that's great. That'll just give us a little extra money. We can, get done and stuff like that. So
Nice. And then, how is that going to affect your guys' fulfillment process?
it's not going to affect us at all because and as we had talked before, pretty much it's all going to be printed at the same time. So probably what we'll end up doing is it may push the Indiegogo people back to September. Just because getting stuff done, and I know I know you were telling me about the printer. I know they're going to be doing a new setup here in July, correct? So or July, August. So at most it might push delay on the IGG 1 month at the most. So that just gives us a little bit more extra cushion and stuff like that. So the Kickstarter people will be fulfilled at pretty much the same time. So if we get everything done beforehand, people wanting the Kickstarter will just get their stuff earlier because they'll just go right out at the same time. So
Yeah. No, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to other than Sporkman? I mean, is that pretty much been taking most of your time these days?
Besides regular work, yeah, a lot of it, and homework too. I'm as you guys know, I'm studying on my master's degree right now too.
Wow. That's cool, man.
In cybersecurity. So I've been trying to take 1 day a week downtime. Really hasn't been happening that way. So that's kind of why the live streams are kind of off a little bit. But I still had to, help Scott out there and anybody else who's got a project. So
yeah. And Salem, sorry. Go ahead.
That's enough about me.
I was just gonna say, Salem. Have you been working on any projects or anything like that lately?
Well, I'm always trying to work on my stuff. I was actually going to upload a bunch of stuff at the end of May, but I had a computer problem that overlapped with this huge other real-world project, which was all that yard work that I've been doing, and so that's kind of slowed down. But I mean, I've been finishing up interviews for like the articles for Wikid, and I'm working on. I've actually gotten most of them started. I'm just got to interview one last person, then I can string them all together. And other than that, I've been doing a lot of like research for some short stories I'm working on to get published, so that people have a little more of like a library to like look through all the writing and the work that I can do before I try to start my big project, so that people can just get a little familiar with me. And so that's been fun. Just that's the fun part about trying to get things a little accurate with if you're like playing with something like mythology or whatever, because you get to learn some cool stuff every day. And I'm actually working on right now trying to work up a trip. I've got the places selected, but one of the short stories takes place in like an abandoned mine in northern Michigan. And since I'm doing that, I don't like to write about places unless I've been to them. So I need to go on some mine tours so I understand what I'm going to be writing about. So yeah, I've been even though I've been really busy, I have been having fun, because it's always cool to look into things, learn new stuff. If you were to come to my place though and see all the books that I'm reading, you might think I'm a cultist or something with all the books I've had to grab from the library. But it's it's been fun. Been keeping busy, and wouldn't have it any other way.
No, that's awesome. I like that you go on location scouts. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's especially with these being old mine tours, this is going to be really, really fascinating. I'm actually with this one. I'm actually using a friend of mine came up with this idea for like a monster, and I wanted, and she like said like it was like available for grabs, like people could use it. And I talked to her. I wanted to make it as accurate as possible, so I'm kind of going back and forth with her, and we're making something kind of cool. And I forgot to mention, an artist reached out to me, so they kind of liked the little bit of things that they've read that I've written. So they were wondering if I could give them like a story and make some characters up so that they could practice doing artwork for comics, because that's what they really want to do. So I've been kind of helping that guy out. And yeah, like I said, been really busy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Been pretty good.
Nice. So have you been
Just
enjoying your work on the articles?
yeah, they've been. I mean, it's nice because I left my college newspaper because I graduated college, so it's nice to get back to doing something very familiar. That was something in college that I knew that I was rather good at, was writing like feature articles and stuff. So it's nice to get back somewhere familiar.
Nice.
It's if people are looking into ever writing like features and stuff, I will tell you it's really nice because you get to talk to a lot of people, and by doing that, you establish friendships or professional connections and such. And it's a pretty good experience. I actually recommend people to look into it. If you're into writing at all or reading, it's definitely something you should consider.
Yeah, no, I think any kind of writing experience you can get in while you're attending school is always a valuable experience.
hmm you learn really good communication skills too. Like me, I'm I have horrible social anxiety. Like I have a hard time approaching new people, and I'm always worried about making a good impression. But if you're able to learn through, because it's like if you're ever going to like write news or whatever, you're going to be put on the spot, and there's no really turning away from that. So it's kind of like the equivalent of just jumping in the pool, and you learn quite a bit as soon as you're thrown into the um, the groove of things, if that makes any sense.
Kind of, you got to sink or swim.
Yep.
So I'm gonna totally oust our other Wicked creator here, who's hiding in the shadows. Come out! Come out! Come out of the shadows, Batman! Come on, it's
What?
Scott.
I'm
No,
just
I'm just playing.
working.
I'm just playing. I was just having a good time. I couldn't resist trying to do my Vane voice. Although I've heard that to do a really good Vane voice, all you need is a vase, and you just put it over your mouth, and you just sound like Vane, and you just kind of
You can just use your hand. Come
but the
out,
vase adds that
Batman.
reverberation.
Just
Well,
make sure it's ceramic and not plastic.
right, exactly. uh,
I did my Vane voice when I was DMing one time because the character I was portraying had this giant like Anubis type mask. So I figured he'd sound kind of like Bane.
Oh, that's hilarious. Do you want to demonstrate
Players
for us?
players loved it. It was. Oh. What is it, Batman? Would you like me to do the voice for you?
Nice. Yeah, I like that. That's the breaking the fourth wall, Bane. But thanks for joining us. I appreciate you coming on. As you can see, clearly it's a work in progress with the whole, uh, you know, no screen on the YouTube channel. Brett says it's good. Took me a while to get the hang of it too. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I got it all set up so we can listen to the podcast theme song last night, and totally didn't think to get the video portion working. So when I tried this morning, it didn't work.
Did we get the theme song going yet?
Yeah, we can play it now if you guys want to listen in. You just got to make sure
What?
to pull up the YouTube channel, so turn the audio on, and then everyone's got to stop talking so that obviously that our voices won't come through the YouTube channel when you listen in.
Got it.
And just let me know when everyone's ready, and I will play it.
Ready.
You ready, Chuck?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just muted.
Okay. And then okay, all right. I guess that means everyone's ready. So without further ado, everyone in the chat, I'm going to play the new Wikid podcast theme song intro by Laguna Munta. Enjoy. All right, and I believe we're back. So, did you guys were all you able to hear that?
Yeah, pretty good.
Cool, right?
I wasn't, but that's just because of how I've got this set up on my
Oh,
phone
right,
right now.
right.
I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it later.
No worries. Yeah, it's a cool upbeat. It's got like a cool rock thing going on with like electronica. And then
Cool.
we're gonna be debuting the outro at the end of the show, and the outro's kind of got a more airy feel, kind of a more end of the show feel. So definitely very excited and very pleased with the work that Laguna Munta put into that that tune.
It is very smooth.
Oh yes, yeah. It's an interesting combination. I really like that. I don't know, just the whole electronic kind of strong beat that it's got going on, and I think it kind of represents cross genres for me. Which I think is a good representation of Wicked. Neostar Productions in the chat says, "Ooh, I love it. Had a sort of funk rock feel to it." Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's exactly. We wanted to cross genres with the music to kind of, like I was saying, give that feel of multiple genres through the artwork. So that was part of the thought process behind coming up with a tune like that. We were able to kind of give our influences and input into how he shaped the tune and how he composed the music. So yeah,
Awesome
we'll probably
stuff.
be playing it again on the second segment and probably even the third segment, just to kind of give people more of a taste of it again. But in the meantime, we can get back to chatting. So Scott, how's your campaign going, man? I know you're working on your Kickstarter right now.
We broke 1,500 either last night or this morning, and
Nice.
we're at 28%.
Very
So
nice.
it's got movement. We'll keep pushing till the end. I think we're at 8 or 9 days left. So
Yeah, you've been going on a lot of live streams. It seems like.
yeah, I've been trying to get in as many as I can. Had some interesting, funny twists on each one of them, so they've been a lot of fun.
Nice.
I did freak Drew out on one of them. That was pretty funny.
How'd you do that?
Someone asked because we were going on about the main characters, Doug and Nicole, and the dark kind of nature of Wrath, and they're like, "Oh, is she gonna die at the end?" And I was like, "Maybe. I can't really tell you that." And Drew was like, "What? You can't do this to me."
Oh, that's messed up. Oh man. Well, that's funny. You got to keep her on her toes, you know.
Yeah.
I always find it fun to keep in a collaboration to keep just a little detail in the dark of everyone else, and just to see the reaction, not to ruin stuff because that'd be a dick move, but it's always fun to get to surprise your own teammates.
It was fun. I think it definitely added a fun element to the podcast too that she doesn't even know how some of it's going to play out. Afterwards, I did talk to her about it, so she knows what's going to happen. But I'm not going to tell you that reaction because it might give it away.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
No.
Yeah, not when you're just getting started. That would be a little too much, I think. Um, but yeah, so I
Yeah,
mean, you guys been plugging along.
yeah, plugging along. I think we've got one with you on Thursday. That's right.
Is it this Thursday?
I think it is. Yeah,
Oh, that is coming up pretty soon. Yeah, we'll have to make a post about it later tonight. Make sure everyone knows it's coming up.
definitely. But yeah, just been making the rounds, doing my posts. Riding this thing out. Hopefully, there's still enough time that we can make up the difference. But if not, then we'll retool, see what we can add to it, and relaunch again.
Yeah, so you guys, you think you would come back? If anything like that were to happen.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's something that we talked about before we launched. Is like if we don't make it, do we want to do another one? And Drew and I both agreed that we wanted to go again, if we fell short the first time.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's always a good idea. Like even Cody didn't make it on his first crowdfunding campaign, so there's a lot of reasons that could go into it. But like you said, there's still time left, and we just have to see how it all plays out. Really.
Yeah, and that's the thing is there's never just like one thing that's holding you back. I mean, it's several different things, and you got to try and pin down as many of those as you can for the next time if you go again.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Do you think you'd still stick with Kickstarter?
I think I might go Indiegogo. It seems like a lot of people, like especially on the live streams, a lot of them are kind of like, "So why are you doing Kickstarter?" So it seems like, maybe I might have picked the wrong pony there. But there's some other things that I kind of like about the Indiegogo, like the fact that they charge up front instead of like waiting till the end of the campaign to charge everyone their money, which I
Right.
think
Yeah. That
makes
makes it.
some people uncomfortable.
I could see that. Yeah, and not only that, if you were to so choose, Indiegogo has the flexible option as well, which I don't believe there's any flexible option on Kickstarter.
Right. That's something I'm hesitant to go with, but it is definitely something there. I do like the fact that you can extend on any Indiegogo, which you can't do on Kickstarter. And there's also the print on demand option afterwards too, if I wanted to go that route.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So like I said, we'll just have to see how it is and see how the streams go. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of options still available for you. Now, Salem, have you had much experience with crowdfunding at all?
No, I have never crowdfunded anything. I mean, I'm still trying to just get myself established as someone who creates things. So it's I kind of have everything that I make. I'm just trying to give out for free, just so that people get to know who I am and stuff. But I mean, right now my big goal is just to get stuff done and get it out there. So I mean, I'm hoping to one day be in a position where I can say, yeah, I want to crowdfund something. But as of now, I still just, I've got real life stuff going on. And I've got, I've got some, plans I'm trying to get in order just so that I can, be comfortable to start such a thing. I mean, but I am learning quite a bit from just everybody here at Wikid who is doing it. And I've learned a lot from Scott. I've learned a lot from the Mythoverse team. I've learned a lot from the Sporkman and what's that other one that was funded?
Movie Men.
Yes, Movie Men. Yep. So I mean, I've been kind of like taking notes watching all you guys. But and plus I've got some friends. I've got some close friends who are artists online. You guys probably have seen me. If you're on Twitter, you've probably seen me interact with them a lot. But I mean, like, if I'm going to do anything, I would like them to be a part of it, even if they're not like my main artists. I would like them to, I'd like to commission them for maybe a promo material or whatever. So, I guess what I'm getting at is like I see that I've got a big toy chest, but I've got to pick out the right tools before I can go ahead and take that next step of trying to start anything.
Makes sense. You want to make sure that you pick the right project and make sure it's ready to go.
Yeah, because I've got a bunch of projects that I'm working on right now, but the thing is, I need to figure out, like, as soon as I'm done with these short stories, I need to figure out, okay, what is the project that I want to really make my focus on, and what's the one that I think will gain enough people's attention to make a really good debut? Because like two big projects that I've got in mind, like they're two completely different like genres and styles. So it's like if I whatever one I debut myself with, it would be kind of like this is going to kind of define me if it ever kicks off. So I need to consider like which is going to be the best to ring people in who have never heard of me before.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned is that you really got to prime the pump before you launch.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, and I'll echo that sentiment. Big time. And I'll use us and the Ferryman as an example. Both of us, and even Jack Irons, we all failed our first campaigns, and so it really came back to we all had to sit down and we had to hustle, and build that audience beforehand. And even after you're done, you can't just stop not doing anything. It's always once a day, or once while you're campaigning. It's multiple times. And then while you're after the campaign, it's once a day. You put something out about your project or give an update, once every few days or something like that, to keep people aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, like I've almost doubled my followers since I started. But yeah, it's getting those 2-3 posts out like every day.
Yeah, you've even already grown a lot and come a long way. So
yeah, something something I picked up from Spork is that if we don't make it and we're going to go again is keep putting stuff out. Like slow down maybe a little bit, but don't just drop it, because if you kind of disappear off people's radar, then you kind of lose that following and that interest.
Yeah, that's even going.
Yeah, just if the first attempt doesn't work, Scott, make sure that you and Drew are still talking about it the entire time, because that's what I've noticed with the other guys is that when they're talking about their first attempts didn't work, it's like they never ceased to try to keep promoting it, and so like have Drew work out something with Drew, like commission her for a few more like during your in-between phase with whatever you're working on. Just keep pumping out new images and new material and such, because, and don't take this the wrong way, but what I have noticed is that, I mean, as cool as the Rage Puppy is, that's pretty much all I keep seeing. And it's like, maybe give like another, like maybe put it in another stance, or give it like a different like feeler or look, because everyone's first impression is different. So maybe if they see like it in that stance that it is within the barrel, maybe that one doesn't hit off as much as the one that's on your profile thing right now in the Google Hangouts.
Yeah,
so,
and one of the other things that we want to focus on is more sequential pages too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that wasn't anything against you. That was just something I noticed, because I won't say who, but someone actually asked me about your project, and I said, "Yeah, it's really cool. Here it is, this, and that." And they said, "Is this all that they have for like the promotional stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, but they're working on other stuff, and it's I've seen some works in progress things, and it looks good. And they said, like, look, I really like it. I just, I would like it would just be a little more exciting if I had seen more. And so that's once again, this is nothing against you guys because I'm rooting for you. I'm trying to be your biggest cheerleader.
No. And the feedback is important because if no one's telling me what I'm doing wrong, then I'm going to make the same mistake. So, like, no offense taken. And it's something that other people have brought up too. And it's, some rookie mistakes, and I'm taking it to heart. And so, we might get some more of the other characters that are in Chapter 1, some promos there. But my big focus is to get those sequential pages and get more of the story out. Because one of the other things you pointed out is there's not a lot of the story in there. There's just that one page, and that's the only sample of what I'm doing, which is the writing. True. If we get those sequential pages, then you'll actually start seeing the story unfold, and I think that might be what's gonna pull people in and get them over that. I don't really have enough to really put my support into it. So I've heard that, and I appreciate you sharing that with me too. But that's what we're going to focus on.
Nice. Yeah, sounds like you guys know where you guys gotta go look to. So that's always good too. You gotta identify it first before you can address it. So, but yeah, I'm just excited to see you guys be on there. And dude, that piece you guys came out with, the one with the barrel that you were talking about. That one is so cool because that is the first one where we get to see the color in the black and white mesh.
Yeah, that was we had a small budget going in. We'll see about getting some more going forward. That's going to be the key in getting more done. But we really wanted a page that showcased that color to grayscale aspect and to really show how the creature is going to look on the page.
And then Brett says, gonna agree with Salem on this, need to show off more. This is something Matt, Dan, and I had drilled into us during the Mythoverse Kickstarter, but he says it's good to see you aren't getting discouraged though, Scott.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have my days, but I work through them. I keep putting one foot in front of the other. As long as I'm doing that, I'm still on the path.
Nice, yeah. That's always the tricky part and the key. I totally get you on those bad days.
Yeah, I think everyone has them. It's not very productive to dwell on those, but they happen.
For sure, 100%. I mean, I know when we ran our first campaign, and running a 60-day is even grueling. Because halfway through it, I'm like, man, we are not gonna get funded. And I'm like so down on myself and getting negative, and I'm like, talking smack and stuff like that. So it happens, 100%. You get those days because especially when you don't see any movement, you're like, what's going on? Unfortunately, that's just the nature of crowdfunding. During the middle, there's always this lull for some reason why.
Yeah, definitely. You can. You've seen the little chart. I don't know how the Indiegogo backstage part works, but they have the dashboard section on Kickstarter, and it shows you a graph, and you can just kind of see your project just flatline.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
even if you get the key is down the road, if you do fail the first time and get the second time, try to get at least one a day. If you can get one a day, even at the beginning, because you're going to get your big rush, and you're going to get your big rush at the beginning and the end. In the middle, if you can get one person a day or every other day, you're going to have less of a lull in between. So, really re-gauging, look at your trends and stuff like that. In those days, that's the days you push. And you're going to have those days. I think we went a whole week without anybody on the second campaign. So it does happen. So, but you just gotta. I think, Scott, what you're doing, you're getting yourself out there. You're. I have nothing but love for what you're doing. In my opinion, I mean, you are jumping in feet first, and you hit the ground running. And I love that you're doing that. In my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think what you and Drew have been doing has been rather inspiring to me. I mean, it kind of made me think, maybe it is possible to to do it. I mean, it's just that's what I just love about this Wikid team, is that it's just so awesome that it's like so many people came together and all wanted to get their passion projects funded, and they're doing it one after another. Sure, we're not not everybody is hitting the ground. I mean, like succeeding the first try, but that's part of life. And to even in this kind of industry for indie stuff, to even get on the second try is just a huge accomplishment.
Exactly, just shows
Yeah.
you how you've grown from the first campaign to the second.
Exactly, and that's why I'm not afraid to give it another shot if we don't get it this time. It's just part of the process.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all of you have been fantastic, and like that's what kind of keeps me going when I have the bad days. Is I know that you guys are there, to help me along and to help me get the word out. So like everything you guys have been doing is just greatly appreciated.
Yeah, that's great to hear. We always want to help you out as much as we can. So it's part of the great thing about Wicked is everyone working together to help bring all these great projects out.
Yeah, and I can't think of any example of any bad blood or people like refusing to share other people's projects. It's like, every time that someone on the team is sharing their whatever they're working on, you'll always see someone retweet it or send out support or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, everyone's always there ready to back each other. That's why I call us the Wiki Crew.
Well, the thing is, the way I look at it is, if you can't get your fellow creators on board, you're not going to be able to sell the product to anybody else, in my opinion. You got to get if you can't, it's the same thing as selling the product to your family. There's some of the hardest people to sell your product on because they know what you're working on daily. So, I think selling your project to coworkers is, you know what I mean? If you guys, especially I know Matt or Mike, when we came to you guys with Sporkman, and you're like, yeah, we love you guys. It's like, okay, well, I've already done the first part. I've sold the concept to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So going from there, that's the great thing. And when Scott was releasing some of these early stuff, and everybody else, Jeremy and the guys from Mythoverse, every project that's come out, even Canalis and stuff like that, I've been excited for because you guys make the projects great. First, you're great people. Second thing, you got interesting projects that make you want to back them. And and that's the great thing about indie comics is I love this new ideas that are coming out. I feel like I'm in like watching manga and anime for the first time because we're getting these fresh new titles and stuff like that instead of the same thing over and over again. Like coming out of the big two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also refreshing to, I don't know, this is my own personal preference, but I enjoy comics that are a little more than just superhero comics. So it's cool that it's like a lot of the Wicked stuff. It's pretty it gives you a selection that you're not going to, like you just said, not going to get from the big two. It kind of has a more like Wicked has, like, if I'm going to compare it to another comic company, has like an Alterna or like a Image vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. We really look up to Peter and what he does at Alterna.
Oh yeah,
a lot. Look for him for inspiration and seeing how he treats his customers. I think is a shining example of just how a comics company should be run.
We should see if maybe a few issues in, we should see if we can get him to do an interview with us for the magazine. We'll see if we can do a feature on him.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
In fact, I was actually going to be writing on the next newsletter. I'm going to be writing a little bit of a biop on him, just in general. But yeah, getting an interview or something with him for the magazine would be really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we have in the first magazine, if you don't mind?
We'll keep that We'll keep that secret.
So I shouldn't say anything if I know something.
Yeah, I
is what
can't
you're
quite.
saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can necessarily say it because we're waiting on one person's answers. We have about it's a group of people and we have all their answers, but we're still waiting on one person. So I'm still not sure if I should necessarily announce it yet. Maybe I'll talk with Matt and we'll announce it later. But needless to say, it's
I will say that we do have a comic YouTuber, well, entertainment YouTuber that I have interviewed, and he will be featured in the magazine.
I think if you if as long as it's cool with him, I'd be okay with you announcing it here.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, we'll our first feature on the entertainment / comic YouTuber is Weaponized Nerd Rage.
Awesome. Yes, I love WNR. He's awesome.
I did an interview with him, and so I'll be writing a little bit of a profile on him.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting.
He was one of the first people to give me one of my first times getting onto a live stream. So yeah,
Really?
yep. I love WNR. He's awesome. So
yeah, and he's a really chill, good dude. When it just comes to, I mean, like when I called him up, he just responded with "yo," and you could hear the cigarette lighter go in the background. So that's the cool thing about him is he doesn't play a character with his videos. He's himself every single time. So he's a genuine dude. I mean, yeah, you're going to hear a lot of profanity. If that's not your thing, I'm sorry, but he's always there to make sure the little guys are doing good, and it's just he's just always a blast.
Nice. That's
So
really cool.
I'll have to hit him up at some point.
Oh yeah. He's a good guy. Yeah.
And he's the thing too is he loves comics, and he does do his like he has his things that he talks about, like outrage and stuff like that, like Captain Marvel or whatever. But he does it. I think he does it cool. He doesn't make it like a drama, and that's what I like. I like that he comes at it objectively, and he's just a very interesting guy to watch. So, if anybody,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just saying, like, I was just going to add on. It's like, instead of, like, taking part in the drama, he will just, like, say, okay, what's the spark that lit this huge fire? And he'll talk about the spark. Which is kind of like what entertainment journalists are supposed to do, not take a side, but, Rage has a side, but it's like he never like skews the facts to present his side.
Yeah. Got some feet there.
Is that from Canalis? Are you out and about, sir?
Hey guys, can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm on my phone, so
yeah.
I apologize.
Oh, we can hear you.
He is not very good at
you and everyone else in Spain.
Oh yeah, cool. This is going to be exciting. I was currently visiting the beautiful book fair in Bilbao. So it's full of yelling children and hippies. So this may not be as peaceful as you're used to.
Hey, no worries, man. How's it going?
Not bad, man. Not bad. SAG just contacted me with more pages for Ironsides 2. So I'm still crazy busy,
Oh yeah, no, I get that. We were just kind of talking about what were we talking about actually?
Weaponized Nerd Rage.
Oh yes, Weaponized Nerd Rage is going to be joining us, or is going to be in the magazine article in the magazine.
Oh, cool. The more the merrier, as I always say.
Where are you at? So you said you're at a fair?
Yeah, I'm in the capital city of Bilbao.
Is there anywhere you can like run into a little coffee shop or anything like that?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to find a quiet spot, but everything's crowded around here. So
that's Spain for you.
I may have to try and find the forest or something. How about now?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. But yeah, so I guess we're getting toward the end of the first hour. But I wanted to ask you guys which like who wants to stay on for the next half, because we actually just have Ebi joining us at the moment.
I'll drop out here. I'll that way. I know Scott didn't get a lot to stuff on his, so I'll drop out so he can stay in.
Sorry about that. I know we kind of started late, so I'm sorry about all the technical issues we had leading up to it.
Oh, it's all good for me. I'm just glad I was able to get in, give it a little update, and so that's all. And I'll stay in the chat here, but yeah, so I'll drop out.
Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and post where people can follow you on Twitter.
Cool. And we are running our just to let everybody know we got our Kickstarter. For those who didn't get to back to Indiegogo, we got our Kickstarter live, and I'll go ahead and I'll post that out for you then, Matt, so you can post it in the chat.
Let's see, I got it already.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep, and there it is. So yeah, please go check that out, guys. And if you haven't backed it, back it today.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
I'll see you later.
See you, Chuck.
So I think I'll go ahead and start. I'm gonna play the. Let's see. So you're on your phone, Ebi?
Yeah, I think I found a quiet place where you won't be hearing too many hippies playing string instruments. So
no worries. It's just the only reason I asked is because I was gonna play the theme song for you, but I don't think you'll be able to hear it.
Oh.
Because you have to have the YouTube up. I don't know if you can have. Well, actually, you could probably if you multi-window your.
Yeah. No, I actually opened YouTube. I hope I didn't screw anything up, because you probably could. I think you guys were able to hear Tim Pool yapping about the latest controversy, and I apologize about that. I think I opened the YouTube app when I hear. But yeah, no, I really want to hear that.
Let's play it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play it for everyone in the chat and for you right now. So you got YouTube up right now, you said?
Sorry, come again. What was that?
You have a YouTube up at the moment?
Yeah. Should I just go there and try and listen to it?
If you play the YouTube, I think you should be able to hear it. Yeah.
Okay, so I should probably mute this thing and try to listen to it.
Sure.
Can you guys bear not listening to me for like 5 minutes?
I can't bear it, but I'll probably manage somehow.
Yeah, be brave.
I will.
Be brave, little soldiers.
All right, I am going to play it in 10, 9, 8, 7. Who counts down from 10? 3, 2, 1. So yeah, that was the theme song. I wish maybe Laguna Munta will be able to jump in the chat later with us. But that was written and composed by Laguna Munta. You may know him from having composed some Jack Irons tunes and some other popular ones.
Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna get Cody later today? Because maybe he can make that happen.
I don't know. Cody had a drunk AMA last night. So he could have a hangover this morning, for all I know.
Yeah, it was
I'm sorry, guys. I tried and I couldn't.
What's that, Canals?
I was going to say that I tried, but for some reason I can't replay live streams on my YouTube app. Does that make sense?
Okay, well, you'll have to check it out later. Yeah, sorry about that, man.
Yeah, no, it's okay. No, I'm sorry I couldn't listen to it. I was really curious. You have your own theme song. I've always wanted my own theme song.
Right? I mean, how more epic can you get?
Yeah, man. Every good supervillain should have his own theme song like that. Vader.
Oh, dude, we have a concert now. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
You know, I had a question for Ebi. It's regarding his #1 fan. They are listing themselves as a canalisexual, so technically, isn't that someone who's like attracted to rivers? Am I getting that right?
Sorry, come again. I understood something about being attractive to women, which
No, rivers. A canalis sexual would technically be someone who's attracted to rivers.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I've met people who were attracted to giant lizards, so why not? I mean,
Are you talking about Godzilla by any chance?
Godzilla!
it's cringe, yeah, guys.
Let them
Don't be.
fight. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to ask because I was going to ask on every segment, but I forgot to ask on the first one. Who's seen Godzilla so far? Who's seen
Me,
Godzilla?
me, me!
No,
Yes, yes.
I haven't. Can you believe I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan? I mean,
No, I can't.
I like. Yeah, I know. All right, because I'm a gigantic monster. I'm supposed to see myself represented in Godzilla. But you know, no, not really. I mean, I like the original Japanese movies, all right. But you know, the new MonsterVerse thing, that's not really
Dude,
my thing.
I love the I love the MonsterVerse, dude. Honestly, I'm a big sucker for those movies, dude.
Let me just say it's the closest that we've gotten to a Toho feel from America.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're doing a real good job
The
of giving that
the, the,
homage.
the last the last the last Godzilla movie that I actually enjoyed was Godzilla Final Wars. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
I have not. I've heard about it though.
It's like it's completely post Matrix, and it was like this weird attempt at merging Godzilla with like martial arts and guys wearing all black spandex and all that. It was really, I think the correct word would be delirious.
I recommend you go see the new one. Honestly, it's a great. If you like the originals, I think you really like it because it's a great homage to the originals while updating it for a new audience. And a lot of the critics have been painting it for certain things, but I completely disagree with the critics on this one.
The critics are never right.
They really yeah, they're usually not right because like they're like, oh yeah, the character development is like really not that great. And it's like, you know, this is a Godzilla movie, right? We're not here to see characters. We're here to see monsters fighting. The characters
No,
are here to get us to those
I
monsters.
completely agree.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're trying to turn Godzilla into a Christopher Nolan movie.
Well, I will say.
Like
I like that.
Go ahead.
I like that Vivian James comic that was released about it, where it's like it has Vivian with her counterpart. I forgot the other girl's name, but the pink sweatered girl asks, you know, hey, do you want to go see a new Godzilla movie? I heard it. And Vivian says, 1 minute, let me see if it's any good. She looks at Rotten Tomatoes and sees that it's like 18%. And like she's looking at all of the comments from like the top rated critics. And then the girl in the pink sweater asks Vivian, is it good? Vivian says, yep, it's good.
Well, you
That's
know,
interesting.
having a bad critic score in Rotten Tomatoes is like a quality guarantee for me. If critics dislike it, it's good.
Then that Sherlock Holmes movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly must be the best movie of all time.
Oh no, no! Don't do that to yourself. Don't watch it.
I think that's one where the critics may have gotten it right.
Yeah. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. All right. So just one Godzilla person. That's fair. That's fair. Are you gonna
I
see it,
want to
Scott?
see it.
Yeah.
It's just you know, it's hard to find the time. Like we
Can you take
tried.
your kids to PG-13 movies yet?
I mean, she watches some of them at home. It just depends on what it is. She really likes dinosaurs, so I mean, like it might grab her attention at certain points. But
It also
I
might
mean,
be
like
terrifying.
she's not very easily scared. I mean, like she went on Haunted Mansion like 4 times. That was like her favorite ride at Disneyland. So,
Uh,
um,
I don't know.
just holding.
Haunted Mansion is a little tame compared to this movie.
There were kids that were like 4 times her age that were freaking out just going into the first room. So
I don't know. That's an interesting question. What do you? I mean, Salem, what do you think? Do you think there'd be any issue with frightening things, or do you think it would just be more into the action stuff?
Oh, wait a minute. Are you asking for like would I take a kid to see this?
Yeah. Do you think it's appropriate for younger?
Well, the first one, I think it might scare kids a little more because it's really dark, and I mean like dark, like color wise, and like the imagery is a little more intense. Whereas this one's like bright and colorful, and it's even though there's a lot of aggressive action going on, there's a few like scary images. It's not as like dreading. So I think that kids would actually get a kick out of what's going on. Like in my opinion, I would take if I had like a 3 or 4 year old, I might not show them the first one, but I would definitely have no problem showing them the second one.
Okay.
And yeah, and also another thing to keep in mind is like, you know, well, this might be the horror fan in me, but it's like I would want to get my kids into trying to try to show them to like appropriate like levels of like scary things, just so that they can learn that there's a difference between reality and fiction, and it's like what's happening on the screen isn't going to hurt you. And I'd say this is actually a good way to introduce your kids to that if you're trying to do the same.
yeah, and she does do that. She really loves Halloween type stuff. Like anything with like they have like this show on Netflix called Super Monsters. She loves that.
Nice.
But yeah, the biggest thing is just getting her to sit still for a full length movie is the problem. Like we tried again with Detective Pikachu, and there were points where it would grab her attention, but then she would just lose interest. So I actually ended up watching like the last 5 or 10 minutes from like the little hallway on the side of the theater because she was just having a hard time sitting still.
I gotta say, maybe because I'm a big softie, but I find the concept behind Detective Pikachu to be horrifying. You get your mind transplanted into a human.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, and it's played by. I mean, it's played by Ryan Reynolds. How bizarre is that?
Yeah, I don't understand the casting choice there. But then again, I don't understand the whole Detective Pikachu thing. So.
Yeah, why is Pikachu a detective? It doesn't, and he's in New York. I don't know. It's just
They're actually not in New York. They're in a specific like Pokemon universe city that.
Oh, nice.
Cerulean
City.
It's really key to the story because everyone in that city has a Pokemon partner, depending on like no matter what their job is, and so they actually use the Pokemons as like enhancements to what they do for their job.
So is it canon in the universe?
I would say yeah. They don't really. It's really interesting because instead of just giving you Ash and like the cartoon into a movie form, they really did like an original story for it, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, the Pokemon trainers exist. The whole like league championship is referenced throughout the whole film. Yeah, so the whole thing with the Pikachu in that film is that it was his dad's partner, Pikachu.
Huh. Interesting. Now it looks like we're. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to say it looks like we're joined by Jeremy Lott. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Hey Jeremy.
Gotta catch them all, huh?
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about Detective Pikachu. Cool. Yeah. How you been?
I've been good. Just recovering from the campaign and getting stuff together. Doug Curtis just sent me the larger file today. I was looking it over and just suggesting some sort of last minute things. So you guys should have that shortly.
Nice. Yeah, we just recently announced that Doug was one of the winners of the Make Mine Wicked contest.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and I think he was really excited about it. And in fact, due to some scheduling issues, we've bumped him up to being in the first issue.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so he said he's going to get cracking.
Yeah, Doug just does really good work. I'm blessed to work with him.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, and it's good to hear you guys are recovering from your post campaign.
Yeah, it literally just a couple of days just of like, okay, I got to do as little as possible.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I gotta say that I never supposed that running an Indiegogo campaign would be so stressful because my cherry was popped by Zach, and Zach is a sure bet, he's gonna be successful. But yeah, when
Yeah.
you become, you get to work for someone else, you're not sure, and it becomes really like nail biting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've worked on big campaigns and smaller campaigns, Ebi, right? Because you've had like Tombstone and Abductables.
Yeah, and for the get go that Ironsides was going to be successful because it's SAG and he has like thousands of followers on several social media platforms. But the Abductables and Tombstone Blues, both Jacob and Michael were newcomers. They're newbies. They're not too well known, and I was like, oh man, I'm not sure if this is going to be successful. I mean, what happened to this?
And not only that, but like, it wasn't just that he had all those followers, but it was that he had already completed a successful campaign with Jawbreakers, and so people could see he knows how to run a campaign, so we can trust him now. So I think that first campaign is so important in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the other thing is just that you had two campaigns running at the same time, which is not a good idea. And so you worked on basically the Abductables first, and then turn around for Tombstone Blues and push that hard.
Yeah, that was tough.
But that was a harder one. The second one was harder to yank over the line.
But they did eventually get there.
Yeah,
which is cool to see.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. So I got the files from Doug and was just looking through it all, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
So now that you're here, Jeremy, we've been kind of playing the podcast theme song throughout the episode.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to pull up, if you already have the YouTube up or whatever, but we can I can stream it over the YouTube, and we'll just all stop talking and all listen into the thing. And in fact, this is a good time because I see there's some new people in the chat who haven't listened into it. So.
Well, real quick, I'm gonna bounce out. I got a lot of stuff I got to get done this morning, but
you're gonna head out?
Glad to be here.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out.
Okay, go pet that rage puppy.
Yeah, I'll go pet the rage puppy. Feed him too.
Well, thanks, man. Important. Have a great one.
See you, Scott. Hey, guys. So whatever you need me to pop out so that you got more slots to fill for the next segment, just let me know and I can bounce.
This segment will be going till 11. So around that time, I'll ask you guys to plug where people can follow you and stuff, and then you guys can out. So that was Scott who said he was leaving. I thought Jeremy had said that, but that was Scott who had said he was leaving.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, I don't know how I got confused. I was looking at you, and somehow I was hearing his voice come out of you. That was a strange moment for me.
It was imagined ventriloquism.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's because I'm hanging out in the old town Bilbao, and this is a really weird part of town. And it's full of crazy people and really old buildings, probably haunted.
Okay.
So if something weird happens in the live stream, that's completely on me. Just so you know.
At least we have a record of it, so that we can save you or come find you or whatever.
That's right. We'll send out the Jawbreakers.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be like Taken. It'll be like we have a very particular set of skills.
If you ask me a question and I don't reply in like 10 minutes, just call the unusual for me, okay?
That's right. Call in the National Guard. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the theme song now.
Okay, go for it.
Sweet. was the intro, and we're gonna be debuting the outro at the end of the show. The outro is a little bit more airy, as Laguna likes to describe it, and a little bit more low key. So it's a good one to end on. I like how it kind of ends the show. Thanks, Dustcool. I appreciate that. Yeah. We like it. It's got kind of like a funk rock electronica vibe, and part of our decision making process when we were talking to Laguna about how we wanted to see it is we wanted it to cross genres and to kind of dip into multiple genres to express how Wikid has all these different genres that we bring out, and so that was part of the inspiration behind that one.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really dig that guitar, and the electronic, I think, beat just is the final piece on it. I think it just really adds that dynamic sound to it.
Okay.
And who knows? Maybe we'll have remixes down the line. So this is just the first one, and I think it turned out awesome. So glad to debut it today. As I said, stick around to the end, and we'll be showing off the outro a little bit later.
Okay. So when is the Wikid magazine coming out?
Wikid magazine is going to be coming out in July. Yep, late July. First issue comes out late July, and then it's a quarterly release. So the second issue will be coming out in late October.
Okay. And you're gonna what's the distribution on that going to be?
In terms of that's an interesting question. Obviously, we'll have it at our store and be distributing it online. But it's definitely worth looking into maybe trying to find some sort of magazine distributor to maybe pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have much. I know you've published before, so I don't know if you have any knowledge or experience with that. But any good advice you could give in the DMs would be appreciated.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll see what I'll think on it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
I know for a while there's a specific Washington State. There's a Washington State specific distributor that you've been talking to for comic books. Is that a thing that is continuing or not?
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be going forward with them at this time.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we might be able to work something out down the line, but yeah, at this time it's just not quite shaping up the way I'd hoped. That's how it goes sometimes. You guys take the bad with the good, I guess.
Yeah, that's how it goes. There's a lot of there's a lot of possibilities, but not all of them are going to work out.
Yeah, but I'm going to follow up and see what I can do. So we'll see. We'll see where it all ends up.
Okay.
But we got on the more positive side, we've got our next convention coming up real quick. Alien Con is at the end of this month.
Alien Con?
Mm-hmm.
That is a great name.
Yeah, it's a pretty big show actually. It's at the LA Convention Center.
Okay.
And
is it a comic specific con or is it more of a geek?
Yeah, it's more like it's an interesting mixture because it has both people who believe in aliens and ancient aliens and actually believe in real aliens, and then there's also the other half who are just into alien pop culture, and so it's a really fun mixture of the two, which I think is going to be really cool to see.
Whether you believe or don't believe in aliens, I'll bet you'd find plenty of interesting people to talk to there.
Oh yeah,
damn right. You should write up Alien Con for Wikid magazine.
Like a coverage of Alien Con, huh?
I would certainly want to hang out in that con, and I bet that it still hasn't been taken over by SJWs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure that. I believe that. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a great con to sell the abductables at?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it would be the perfect place to promote that booth.
And we were actually talking with Michael Derrick about potentially putting out a copy for Alien Con, but unfortunately, just with timing and everything, it didn't work out. Production just wrapped up on, as I believe, is wrapping up or something like that. They're getting pretty close to finishing up with Abductables. I know. So. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, no. He's I think he's wrestling with the printer right now. trying to get right size and all that. So yeah, no, it's almost done now.
Yeah, so yeah, but maybe who knows what the future will tell if we'll come back there or not. But yeah,
Actually, I thought maybe the Abductables might end up being distributed by Wikid.
yeah, it's definitely a good fit, a good feel.
I'm not opposed to that. I mean, I think it's the perfect the perfect book for Wiki.
Yeah, I mean maybe we'll have to talk with Michael, Derek, you and I later, Ebi.
Please do, please do. I don't think Wiki has like a little gray alien book yet, right? I mean that's like a niche market that you guys need to pander to.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if any of you guys saw, but we actually, Michael actually won one of the contests we were running, and he was able to win a free acrylic art painting by Jeff Lasley, and so he did a version of the giant guy from Abductables, like smashing a bunch of aliens and stuff, and it looks real nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, definitely some interesting stuff that could be worked around with that. And like you said, that's a niche. I think there's only one other comic in Wikid that has aliens, as far as I. Well, no, two other comics have aliens. Jack Irons, obviously.
Yeah.
The other one I can't say because it's a secret.
Okay.
But yeah. So Alien Con's gonna be fun. We just booked our travel plans.
I think.
Sorry, you're cutting out there. What was that?
On Twitter, yeah.
Is he coming through for you guys?
No.
I think we finally lost him.
Cloud is eating him alive.
Oh God.
Send to the job breakers.
Seriously, man. We need some decimators, dude.
Oh yeah, and the decimators.
That's right. Send them both in, man. Send them all. Hey, Canals, you're not coming through. Maybe try dropping out and coming back in if you can. I don't know if you can hear me right now, but yeah, this is definitely the most technically difficult podcast we've had for sure.
I think
like
only.
What the hell?
You're gone, dude.
Ebi.
And
put us out of our misery.
Baby, come back.
Can you hear us? Canals, if you can, try leaving the chat and then coming back into it. That might fix your situation.
Yeah, it is not working.
I don't think he can hear us.
That's not good. Can you drop him out?
I can't. No.
Oh, I thought you could.
Not on this version, at least.
Okay. Good times.
All right, guys. I got to get back to my yard work. Hooray!
Okay.
So I'll catch you all later. It was a lot of fun, and I'm hoping the best for everybody who's working on their campaigns.
Thanks, man. And where can people follow you online?
Just follow me on Twitter at Salem_LeBlanc.
And I'm posting that in the chat. There we go. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. I appreciate
guys.
it, man. Good luck with your yard work. I feel like there should be a comic about you, the yard work hero. You know.
Heck no. I don't want to revisit this.
And yeah, once is enough. You don't need to come back to it in print.
All right. I'll catch you guys later.
See you later.
See ya.
So last night, me and the wife, we watched a movie, like I guess it was like direct-to-video movie called Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. And at one point, they featured a superhero at a con who could talk to players.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're
I think
back now.
okay.
Nope, and now he's gone.
Now he's gone. He was a superhero who could talk to plants named Perennial Man.
Nice.
So he's talking to a room full of reporters, and he ends up getting into a swearing fight with a plant. It was pretty great.
Yeah, that's an interesting power.
I'm just imagining Salem doing that in his own yard now.
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, you bastards!" And everyone's just staring like, "Whoa, what the heck's going on over there?"
Yeah. You guys are mean.
That's like the Animal Man, like the twisted version of Animal Man or something.
Yes. So, indeed.
Yeah.
So I gotta after I get the movie man stuff squared away and off to you guys, then I've got to finish writing the follow up, which is going to be Movie Man meets Sporkman.
Right. Yeah. Can you talk a little about that yet, or?
Well, okay. So I don't want to spoil Movie Man for you, but I'll just say that the way that it ends, I did not think of it as a cliffhanger at all, but some of the people who read it did. And so I was like, well, crap, what do I do? Then I was in a chat with Chuck, and I just got this idea, and I said, Chuck, would you be open to Movie Man and Sporkman, teaming up?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh man, finally. Yeah, no, I'm okay. I didn't get kidnapped by a weird couple of political lesbians that I ran across. I'm okay.
Okay, good.
Did you survive?
Barely. I'm trying to stop the heavy bleeding, but I should be good in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Good. Just hold it down. Just keep the pressure on. So
what were you guys talking about this time?
We were talking about Movie Man meets Sporkman, which is what I need to finish writing here.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the Wikid verse.
Yeah, it's gonna be the first team up comic from Wikid, I think, isn't it? Technically.
Yeah, well, in a non-shared universe, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also think we'll probably beat them to print. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's actually pretty awesome. So you're gonna be going into that pretty soon then?
I've written part of it. I'll be writing the rest of it, and then getting the Spork commanders to sign off on it, just to make sure I have their guy talking the way he should talk. And then I'll get it over to Doug, and he'll start, doing it.
By the way, I want to say Neostar Productions in the chat cell still looking forward to Movie Man! ! Smiley face.
We are very much looking forward to getting it to you! Smiley face.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's gonna be cool. I know people are gonna love it, so it's just must feel good to come off of a successful campaign like that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I didn't leverage enough that I need to do more in the next campaign is when you have it all done in advance, you can get it out to people for advanced reviews. And we got some of that. We did, but not enough. And, that's going to be a bigger part of our campaign the next time.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like you probably learned a lot, I would think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the things that you'd say a lesson I should have learned is that I should get my own YouTube channel and ratchet it up. But with this whole YouTube adpocalypse thing, and I don't know. I'm interested in seeing if some sort of very serious contender to YouTube comes along, and if so, I'd probably start a channel there.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see if another. Because there's always new communication platforms cropping up, like Skype came and then Discord after that, and so YouTube had a stranglehold for a while, but it would be interesting.
I guess there's sorry, go ahead, Ibai.
No, I was going to say that as a fierce defender of free market, my alternative would be to create a service, like what Minds is to Twitter or what Minds is to Facebook, but for YouTube, like our own or whomever's own video streaming service, and just make it truly apolitical, where everyone can freely broadcast and monetize their videos and all that.
Yeah. No, I mean there needs to be alternatives that take, freedom of speech seriously, and because they're not the ones we have now aren't. That you need to have both, have freedom of speech and also allow people to nope out, like separate themselves from people if they want to. As
Yeah.
long as you have both of those features, and I don't know, maybe not like promoting kiddie porn or something. Perfect. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's just gonna. It takes capital and investment time. I feel like a bus just drove through you.
That wasn't me. That was a train.
How's it hanging over there in Spain? It sounds like a busy day, man. Is it really that popular out in that fair or whatever the heck you're at?
Yeah, and I actually distanced myself from the fair trying to find a quiet spot, and I think I only made it worse because I'm at the busy part of town right now. I'm in Old Town.
Is there any part of Spain that's not busy?
Yeah, probably libraries and schools and
I
anywhere
don't think you should go
where
straight
reading
out of
is
school.
required.
I think that would probably be a bad idea. Maybe stick to coffee shops. Yeah.
I'm calling myself up at someone else's doorstep. I don't know what's the word. And those really old houses
Yeah.
where you can, they have like really big doors and all that. And I'm trying to hide myself there.
That's funny. But yes, I mean, Movie Men coming up with Sporkman. I mean, that's gonna be really cool to see. So, are you guys gonna be diving into that pretty quick then?
Yeah, I'm gonna write it treatment style, but treatment with dialogue. You can do that, and then I'm gonna get it over to the sport commanders. They'll either sign off or say no. You'd say something slightly different. Then I'll get it to Doug, and we'll just go from there. We'll figure out what a reasonable timeline is.
Yeah, I could totally see that. So when do you have kind of a ballpark yet on when you think it might be coming out?
I mean, I like to launch the crowdfunder for that in like August or September. Honestly, it'd probably be September at this point, just because fulfillment of the other campaign. I want to, I think at least for this one, I honestly for most campaigns, you should fulfill before you launch the next one.
Right. Yeah. It kind of makes sense. You don't want to. Well, that's what happened with. I hate to say it, but that's kind of what happened with EVS a little bit. With Cyberfrog, I think people started getting a little upset with how many campaigns there's actually fulfilling.
I mean, it's not. Or if you look at like Mike Miller, he did a second campaign before he fulfilled the first one. Did
really
much worse.
Wow.
Iron Sights, it was a different sort of thing, but obviously that was launched before Jawbreaker was fulfilled, and it didn't do as well. What's his name? John Delarose did the Ember War before he'd fulfilled Flying Sparks. It did worse. Like, there's just a lot of people who aren't going to take a chance on you if you do a second one and haven't fulfilled your first.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's just you want to see that the fulfillment process is done right, and because like I said earlier, that first campaign is so important. Once you got that trust, then there's a lot more. Like I said, there's a lot more trust going forward for further campaigns. Yeah,
I do think that you can get, especially on Kickstarter and maybe Indiegogo eventually, you can get some of these people who do multiple. They have a lot of books, and as long as they're really good at fulfilling, you can have some overlap. But that's only after you build up lots of trust over a long time, and that'd be like a couple of years out before I'd even consider that.
Yeah, that's fair. I wonder if Alternative's ever done that before.
Well, I mean, they do theirs separately, right? So
that's true.
There definitely is overlap, but but it also like if Alterna does your book, you're gonna get it. It's not a question,
True, yeah.
They've just built up enough trust so that it's people, they can do overlapping campaigns that run independently, obviously. But because all Alterna is doing is basically acting as a broker for you, the reader.
Mm-hmm. Now, Neostar Productions in the chat says Movie Men meets Sporkman. Now this I have to see.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's coming up. Yeah, I just I was really against shared universes, but I in these shows, I've talked about how you can have team ups without shared universes, right? Like, Punisher meets Archie, for instance. You can do it, and so then that got me thinking. Well, wait a minute, anything can come through these movie screens, so it doesn't just have to be monsters. And so, yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a fun crossover. It's gonna be really interesting to see when what's his name? Shoot, I'm blanking on his name. The boss, the guy.
Oh, the Carl, the guy
Carl.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
head
yeah,
of theater.
yeah. Carl meets when Carl meets Sporkman. I can already imagine. That'll be an interesting day.
Get back into that screen and start selling popcorn.
It's like what? He's like, look. Sporkman looks around like, wait, what? Is he talking to me? Oh man, this could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I so Art of Flying Sparks Part 2. I backed it on Kickstarter, and you got a bunch of rewards that come with it. Digital, and one of them was Sparkman Conventions, which I'd read before, but I read it again the other day, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, convention is definitely a really fun take on the character. It's a more lighthearted for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, the first page opens up with the Star Wars parody, so
yeah,
it's pretty perfect.
I really liked it. So
Yeah.
there's that. I
Now,
also I've been getting pages back from my artist on one of the comics I've been developing called Murder.
oh
And
yeah,
it's getting pretty good. I'm really liking what I'm getting back here. So I'm gonna start. I'll in our super secret Wikid group. I'll show you some pages pretty soon here of colored, and I'm impressed with what he's turning out.
yeah, that's awesome. I'd definitely like to see that because I remember talking to you about that a while back about that particular comic.
Yeah.
Nice,
So.
you're staying busy.
Oh yeah. I mean, no rest for the wicked.
That's right, man. That's a great quote. We gotta use that somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh man. But Ibai, so I wanted to talk a little about the Decimators book we got coming out because I'm pretty excited about it. So we're kind of doing something a little different this time around in that the next volume of Decimators is pretty packed with stuff. We typically do 2 issues per volume. This one has 3 issues, so you're already getting a packed book. Then we got a couple character sheets looking into characters like Gabe, kind of exploring their background. And then the best part, which I personally really excited about this, just because this is something we've never done before, and we actually have a couple bonus comic pages that were never before written, never before seen. So even if you've that's right, even if you've read it, there's something new for you here. So even people who are longtime fans can come back and get more insight into the characters in the world. And I like to think of it as almost like a deleted scene.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
I was going to say that this is that's a good excuse to to make readers buy more at least the printed copy because it's got actual never before seen material. It has new comic book pages that have been expressly drawn for the printed version. So yeah, and it's a good hook.
Yeah, I thought that would be nice bonus for people. And I've seen the first page of 2, and I can say that it is awesome.
Thank you. I've been reading a lot of old Richard Corben, Gab Sternad comic books. You know, the ones that the classic one-page almost cautionary tales. Very creepy and all that, and I drew my inspiration from that.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to ask you later where you see it fitting in with the rest of the 3 chapters, where it might be a good place to fit it.
Yeah, that's a good question because I think well, the first page that I sent you, that's probably a prequel. I really never stopped to think about when it should be placed in the timeline.
Maybe I could put like a little tagline that says like I don't know, so before or something. something to indicate that it's it is that kind of prequels era, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but that's the thing about the character. You know, the main character of the one pager. That death isn't exactly final for that character, as we've been able to see in the printed version of Decimator so far. So you can really place it whenever you like in the timeline.
It doesn't necessarily fit anywhere. It's kind of like a standalone story, one-page story.
Yeah. That's why for the next one that I have planned, it is a prequel. It's set in way before the facts stated in the
Whoa.
comic book. So yeah.
That's awesome. I don't think we've. I mean, I haven't read the whole entire run of the comic yet. Obviously, I'm reading it as we print it because just I like to read in print. But is this the earliest that we've seen in the timeline? Would you say?
Yeah, no. This is much earlier. This is actually a sequential insight into one of the characters that you may accuse me of being too much of a fan of my own characters, but I really like this one, and I really like to go deeper into his psyche because I'm that much of an intellectual writer.
Wow. Well, that's exciting, man. I really like to hear that you're going even farther back. I would love that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in depicting the time frame before the zombie apocalypse and what like a Fear the Walking Dead type scenario in which we see the apocalypse actually happening and actually unfolding and affecting people's lives and all that and destroying the society as we know it.
Ooh, yes, I love it, man. That is perfect. Yeah.
Just imagine Fear the Walking Dead, except instead of angry zombies, they're triggered leftists.
And then you got a pretty good idea of what to expect. Yeah. Yeah, I just started watching the new season of Fear the Walking Dead. Oh man, God, I love that show.
I love the original comics, but they get a bit repetitive after a while, and I think the show is especially guilty of that. I don't know if it's just me or if it's the official consensus.
I've talked to quite a few fans who say that there are seasons that are good, and then some of them just aren't as good.
Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes they drag on a little too long, you know.
And then like it can vary wildly. Like this season, kind of sucks, and the next season's way better for some reason.
Yeah. I think a part of it is the different showrunners they've had. They just got a new showrunner for the main series, and so those kind of creative changes could have something to do with potentially. But yeah, I totally get that, you know. And but the Fear the Walking Dead's cool for me because I live in California, and so it's totally more relatable for me because I have never been to Georgia. So I it's just a completely different landscape for me. So like seeing like actual like buildings and things, settings that I'm more used to, it's kind of I was like, oh yeah, I could see how I would maybe react to the apocalypse.
It's weird because I actually feel related to stuff happening in New York City, even though I only go there like 1 week per year. But yeah, I mean, I've been there so often that I feel like, oh wow, I could be in that movie myself. I could be in that scene because I know that place.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. It's interesting that you've kind of developed that with New York in particular.
Yeah. So you went full robot there.
Oh, what was that? I went. I went full what now?
You went full robot. Your voice completely fixed.
Oh, Jesus. I was like, I turned into a kaiju creature for a second there. No, I was trying to. I think I was. What was I trying to say? Shit, I don't even know what I was saying anymore.
I think it was a binary star, 1000101.
Right? Yeah. Error does not compute. 404 error. File not found.
Warning, Will Robinson. Warning.
That's right. Oh man. But yeah, no. The Walking Dead. I'm a huge fan of that series just because that's my comic that I'm coming out with is influenced by that. I call it Walking Dead meets Escape from New York. And so,
okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's basically after a zombie infection in the far future, they try to contain it by like closing off the major cities, but they can't contain it, so they end up walling it off, and everyone who's in the cities gets stuck inside. And so they manage to kill all the zombies outside the walls, but inside the walls they just keep coming. And no matter how many zombies they kill, they just, for whatever reason, continue to propagate. And so it takes place 20 years after the walls go up, and you're in there. It's like that's where the whole Escape from New York thing comes in, where it's the gangs and criminals control the city, and the people have to basically pay tribute to them and work to get protection to survive from the zombies. And so it's about one family trying to live in that place.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely like Decimators to some degree.
Yeah, it is. There are some similarities with Decimators. In fact, I even use there's a scene where I use a VTOL vehicle similar to the Decimators vehicles. So I definitely took some inspiration from your
That's a case of great minds thinking alike.
Well, I specifically was influenced by your work as well. I wanted to kind of show that futuristic sci-fi zombie thriller, but instead of taking it in a more satiric way, I'm taking it in a more dramatic, more kind of serialized kind of way, like in that sense. But
Sounds pretty cool, man.
yeah, and I've put in since I do know how Decimators works, you will see that the zombies in Decimators and my comic Endemic are vastly different. So there's that going for it too as well.
And is this going to be serialized in Wikid, or is it a magazine, or is it going to be its own thing?
Yeah, it's going to be serialized in the magazine. So we're going to be putting out about 10 to 12 pages per magazine issue.
Okay. So I've seen some of the artwork for this, and it looks baller.
Oh, thanks, man.
Really good.
Yeah, it was
I really want to read that. It reminds me of when I used to read comic books in comic magazines when I was a kid, and we didn't have as many like floppies as we do today, and some of us used to get our dose by reading like these really brief serialized chapters in like comic magazines, and they would be like a 10-page chapter for this comic and another 10-page chapter for another comic and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like in Britain, they had the 10,000 AD. Did that make it over to Spain a lot?
It's, not as much as we would have liked, but yeah, some of it did.
My experience with that growing up was I read Shonen Jump, and so I always get the manga in that serialized format.
Yeah, I remember that. We did have that too here when manga got really big in Spain.
Nice, yeah. That's cool. But yeah, no, I'm super excited to be working with Dan. I was really lucky. He actually reached out to us a while back about wanting to work on a Wikid project, and so when I came time to find an artist, I was pretty sure I knew who I wanted. And luckily enough, he was okay to work. He was down for it, and we're gonna be working with colorist Ellie Wright. I'm not sure if you're familiar with some of the stuff she's done. She's worked on a lot of stuff for Dynamite, like The Shadow, Betty Page, and most recently she did a cover for James Bond over at Dynamite. So it's really excited to be working with her as well. She's got a really great.
I gotta say it's exciting to see Wikid getting bigger and hiring pros with bigger names and all that. It's I really like to see that.
Oh, cool! Yeah. That is exciting. It's I think it shows how much we've grown, all of us, together over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's gonna be good to see. Like I said, it'll be first issue comes out next month, and it's gonna start off explosive. So definitely be in for some a really intense first issue. But yeah, the second issue is a little more low key, introducing the characters and the world and kind of the setting a bit more. Yeah, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, speaking of the magazine, I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up in the magazine. Like Cody's writing articles for the magazine.
Cool.
What else? We got some interviews lined up for the. We mentioned earlier Weaponized Nerd Rage, of course.
Cool.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely be on the lookout. Oh, and Chuck has his comic Call Me Chuck. Oh, Chuck. Dan has a comic called Call Me Chuck. And that's a spin-off of his web series Molly Beans. And that's going to be serialized in the comic. And then the third series that's going to be serialized is Matt Trin's serialized light novel series Cobalt, which is a throwback to classic Gundam novels and kind of that hard, gritty sci-fi war style.
Cool.
Yeah. And we're having all of our characters, all our main characters, are going to be on the second or third issue, as a cover piece together, done by Mr. Marvel. So we're really excited to see him
Nice.
put that together.
Very cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, it's cool to see Troy on board as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's love his art. We've always been big fans of him. And yeah, no, I have some things I'd like to announce. But I'm keeping some things close to the chest for now. But we've talked in the past. Peter Simoni's working on a cover right now for the magazine, which is cool. And then we got Art of Zoo working on a cover. I don't know if you're familiar with his work. And then the first one we just got the original in the mail for the first cover, the one done by Ori.
Okay.
And it looks so good. It is amazing. It's funny because he lives in Lithuania, and he had to mail it to us because he couldn't send us a high quality image on the computer. So we had to wait for it to travel all the way here, and I had to scan it in my computer. But it's all good to
How long did that take for it to get from Lithuania to California?
Maybe about 3-4 weeks, I'd say. It was
Okay.
actually pretty fast. It wasn't too bad.
I think that's the usual time it takes for something to get from Europe to the US, like
Oh,
2-3
really?
weeks. It's not so terrible, but still it's like weird having to wait for someone to send you the original art, like it's 1990 again.
Seriously, I felt bad making him have to send it.
Oh, that's Europe for you, man. Doesn't make it easy for artists. That's why we all flee to the US.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess you're probably used to that in a lot of ways. So we're getting close to the second hour here.
Okay.
Second hour. We're getting close to wrapping up the second hour here.
Yeah.
What do you guys got going on in the next coming weeks?
Well, Movie Man is still in demand, so if people want to go get the comic for the next until the end of the month, it'll be available. So I would encourage people to go to Indiegogo, look for Movie Men, if not, just follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Lot Diary. So.
And I'll link that in the chat
Yeah.
for everyone.
And I just keep plugging away on this and many other projects.
Yeah, you certainly do keep your plate full. That's for sure.
It's the only way to do it, man.
I don't know how you find the time.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
Well, tell you that not sleeping helps.
Yeah, not sleeping does definitely help. That's for sure.
I'll sleep when I've written comics.
That's right. Ebi, where can people follow you online, and what do you got going on the next couple weeks?
Well, they can follow me at Gap, Canalos, Gap, Canalos, whatever it is.
You're just gonna keep plugging that, aren't you?
I admit the need to get on Gap more often because I kind of forgotten about my Gap friends, and I'm a terrible host. I'm sorry. I promise I'll go back there soon. But you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm always uploading stuff and new sneak peeks on stuff I'm working on currently. You can also friend me on Facebook. I'm a really friendly guy, despite what might seem. And you can follow my stalker fan on Twitter. I swear that girl has installed like cameras in my studio or whatever because she knows everything I'm doing.
She's like a benign stalker.
Yeah. I mean, it's creepy, but at the same time, he's giving me a service, so I'm not gonna complain,
Right, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love that Ebi fangirl. She's really good at keeping us, abreast of things.
That's right. Yeah, you could really say that.
I think there's several of them, not just one. So my self-esteem is pretty high right now.
Hopefully, she'll keep plugging for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be drawing Ironsides and catching up with some commissions. I also promised Colpies that I would draw a couple of sample pages for his upcoming project, Johnny Slow. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Sweet, man. That sounds excellent. And if anyone's interested, I'm also going to post Ebi Fangirl's webpage so you can follow her adventures. And see all the selfies that she probably takes and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And also, I always forget about this. If anyone's really interested in estimators, my good friend Midnight in Exile and me, we do live readings of the webcomic. Like we go full Orson Welles on the webcomic and play the parts of the characters and get drunk while we do it, and it's really fun.
If you guys ever need a third person to play some background characters, let me know. I would so be into that.
I will.
So I'm gonna go ahead and plug your channel as well, just so people can check out those streams. I personally got to see one and they're hilarious. Very funny stuff. So please check it out. Do you guys have one scheduled yet right now, or?
We don't have anything scheduled yet, but Bigman is a pretty busy guy. He lives in a big city and has to try and not be killed.
So definitely subscribe to the channel and follow him to check out when the next video comes out.
Yeah, it's almost improvised because we get together whenever we both can when our schedules fit. So yeah, but we will try and notify people with a couple of hours in advance at least.
Yeah, that would be appreciated. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to be starting our next segment with the Mythoverse here, but I appreciate you guys coming on today and chatting with us, even despite the technical difficulties.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, anytime. Take care, guys.
Take care.
And we have the Mythoverse crew with us, which you can't see in the YouTube stream because it's black, like my heart.
Trust us, we're there.
Trust us. Trust us. It's all okay. Welcome, guys. How's it going? We got Matt, we got Dan, and we got Brett. What's up, guys?
Hi.
Doing great. Had a very busy week, but it's Saturday, so recharging.
Yes. Are you guys still recharging from your Mythoverse campaign?
Oh, please. I have to go to work today, Dan.
Well, that's what happens when you're a grown-up, so get used to it.
Ooh,
No, that's what happens. No, it's what happens when you work retail.
Well, that too. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Most people don't have to work on Saturdays. I remember because I used to work retail and it was a nightmare.
You, unlike me and Matt, have a real job, Dan.
No, it's not a matter of it being a real job. It's just a different kind of job.
Well, yeah,
It's
everybody.
A more real job.
Everybody
it's a more
needs
real job.
Well,
it's a more real job compared to retail and fast food.
Well, true.
Okay, fine, but it took a long time to get here, so.
You'll get
and
there.
I worked a lot of jobs that I didn't care for. I was a carpenter's apprentice for a year or two. I worked in Subway. I worked at Pizza Hut. Worked at Publix. That's our supermarket chain in Florida. And I've been where you are. Trust me. I know the drill.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I started off at summer camp. And I worked at Office Depot for like 3 years. Then I was working at a movie theater for a while. Went back to Office Depot. So yeah, now I'm doing more stuff that I'm interested in. But yeah, I totally get that. It is a process. But even those things that like you said, even though you don't like that, where you're working right now, even that can be good to put on your resume because it does show you that dedication and it shows you got that customer service background, and so there are some benefits to it. So
at least now it helps me pay my bills while I wait for the comic career to take off.
That too.
Those early jobs basically just help you gain the skills that let you eventually raise to higher pay if you so choose.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's fun. Just that's the reality of it.
Although if Vamp and Lenore get their way, I may not live that long.
What happened now?
Let's just say those two may or may not be plotting to hex me.
Oh boy.
What'd you do?
Just draw some defensive wards around your room. You'll be fine.
Put salt around. Does that work? Can you put a circle of salt, or does that just work on ghosts?
Oh no.
It works on ghosts, I believe.
Well, I don't know. It was cool. It was cool introducing them, but now I'm wondering if I'm going to start regretting that because they may be plotting against me.
Well, you did it to yourself, man.
Yeah.
So no sympathy.
You only did it yourself.
Real quick, I want to say in the chat, Neostar Protection says, "I feel your pain. I'm a night custodian." Matt Matt B would totally be with you on that one too, Neostar. He's yeah.
Yeah, my first job was cleaning up the meat department in a supermarket.
Oh,
And I went home
God.
every single night, cold and wet.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
One of the first jobs I had was being a night porter at Burger King.
A night porter? The hell's a night porter?
I was the guy who cleaned it up.
Oh shit, really? I didn't even know they had those things at fast food restaurants.
Yeah, normally it's the employees that clean.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. Yeah.
Well, I was technically a Burger King employee at the time, but one of the jobs I had was to disassemble the broiler, clean the parts, and put it back together.
Oh, so you'd be a maintenance guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had to do. I did disassemble all the machines and clean out the freezer. It was literally freezing in there. Clean out the fridge, clean out the sausage stuffer, everything. It was asininely difficult and uncomfortable.
Jesus. Yeah, I can honestly say I'm super happy, and I feel lucky that I never worked in like any kind of food industry, retail only for me, which I think can say I'm happy about.
Yeah, the problem is when you're a teenager, it's either retail or food.
Yep,
no one else will hire you.
That's right. I got lucky. I got the retail.
Dan, I should probably have you sit down with my dad because he had to work in a slaughterhouse when he was a teenager.
Jesus, yeah. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as that.
Definitely.
But it definitely wasn't good. I definitely would not recommend it to anyone.
My dad described working in the slaughterhouse as smelling like death.
Yeah.
Well,
Says about
because
right.
it is. It's
Sounds
loaded with death.
Probably smell like a morgue. I would imagine. Which I don't know if any of you have ever been to there, but it's awful. I went to there because of my school once on a trip.
No, but I have smelled corpses.
Yeah,
they're nasty.
Oh god, I had to leave. I was like the one person. Everyone else was like in the freezer room, and like, oh yeah, this is cool. And I'm like in there freezing my ass off because I didn't bring a jacket, like an idiot. And it was the smell. I was like, yeah, I'm out of here, guys. I'll wait in the lobby. Thanks. I've seen enough. Yeah, it was creepy. But yeah, I totally feel your woes, guys, on that. So. Yeah. Hopefully you have a pretty mellow day at work, Brett.
I hope so too. Hope it's not another 3-truck day or whatever it is.
I think it's. I heard last night it was 1 truck, but it's 3,000 pieces of freight.
Is this? Jeez. Yeah, freight's a tough one too. Yeah.
Okay, but enough about that.
Yeah, enough about our depressing jobs.
Talk about our cool jobs.
Exactly. So, how have things been going with the Mythoverse with you guys since you've finished your campaign?
Well, these past couple weeks, we've just been waiting for our money. Essentially, we should be. They should be releasing it early next week at the latest. Mm-hmm. They said 2 weeks after the completion of the campaign, and that's today. So, they probably won't. We won't get the money released until Monday, and then it'll take 3 or 4 days to get into the account. And after that, I'm going to immediately send over Brett and Matt's share of the take so that they can get their teams paid and get to work. Yeah. And on my end, I'm going to be using what's left over to order the hoodies that we need. We have like a dozen of those to make and a few other things. Anything left over will go to Leandro or to future issues.
Yeah. Also, last night we settled on a release date for when the books go to retail.
Right. I believe it's September 21st is what we agreed on.
Yep.
And that gives our artists a whole extra month because we did promise September. And we want to give them as much time as possible so that they don't have to rush the product because we're after fulfilling it on time, but we also need them to be top of the line. So I don't want to rush them. I don't want to put any pressure on them. I want to make sure they have enough time to do their best work.
Is that really what it means? Because when I hear release date, that to me says that's the day we send it to stores.
Well, once they complete the art, basically we just got to send it off to print, and then we could start fulfilling our orders, and that's technically our release date. And then we'll have then it will be available for retail afterwards. Because right now, our priority is getting the books into the hands of our backers, and then once they're all taken care of, then we'll make it available. I would imagine.
So it's more like a deadline.
Yeah, I would say more of a deadline.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
That's
fine.
Now I'm sure we've talked about. I feel like we probably talked about this in the past, but did we decide yet whether which side of things, if you guys want to handle the fulfillment, or if we'll be handling that over on Wikid's side?
Well, that really all I have to do is export the backer report and send you a CSV. If you want to handle the fulfillment, it would probably be easier because you're handling the printing.
Exactly. I already have the books and stuff, so.
Exactly. So, yeah, there won't be that many of them. There's like 100 and probably like 150 backers that will probably need to ship something to. Maybe no, not even that many, because we have about 30 digital backers that we can easily fulfill. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with having Wikid handle the fulfillment. Otherwise, you'll have to mail us the books, or me the books, or whoever wants to handle the fulfillment, and that'll just be an extra step. That'll delay the fulfillment.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Here's still get the question of like the physical rewards, like say with the hoodies and stuff.
Sure.
Like, are we gonna? Because like, I was wondering, were we gonna ship everything out in one package to backers, or ship everything?
Well, the books and the posters and the stickers and the trading cards, those can all go in one package. Mm-hmm. And Wikid can handle that fulfillment because they have the relationship with the printer. And as far as the hoodie is concerned, we're going to be producing them here in my house, so we'll be the ones handling that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You guys can just ship them out directly to the backers in a separate package that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That way, it's just more efficient that way, I think. That way I don't have to mail it to Wikid and pay postage and extra time. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that would be a pain too.
Or Wikid doesn't have to mail it to you.
Right.
Right, that too.
Yeah, either way it would cost money.
Yeah, I got my copy of Punchline the other day, and they said that the T-shirts would be shipped separately on there.
So yeah, that makes sense. It's a different kind of fulfillment.
Exactly. So it's going to be something that people will forgive if they don't have it. If they don't have it when the comic gets here.
Yeah, we'll just put an update on the campaign and say if you order the hoodie, you'll be getting the books separately, the books and the posters and the trading cards and the stickers will come in a separate package.
And we can also update that over in the Discord as well.
Yep. So once we get the money, we'll be ordering the hoodies, and my wife's already got the office all set up, so she's ready to start churning them out.
Nice.
Yeah, those hoodies turned out to be a pretty good, big success. It seems like.
Yeah. In future, I would love to find a way to make them a little bit less, a little bit more cheaply, so they can make them more accessible.
If we could find a way to mass produce these, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's just the problem is the ears. The ears have to be specially made and sewed on by hand. It's difficult to do that. If it was just the design, it would be easier because all we have to do is screen print in 2 locations.
Yeah, I see. It would be tough to find a location that would be willing to put that extra effort in to do it. Although maybe I don't know where the costs come in involved, but maybe there'd be some way to mass produce the base set and then to do the hand sewing of the ears on afterward. I don't know.
Yeah, we could look into that and see if that's something that's feasible for future. In the future.
Yeah, totally. And I know you guys kind of even kind of toss around the idea of maybe even future clothing lines.
Yes. I went out and invested in a screen printing apparatus so that we can, like one of the shirts that we're prototyping is a Mythoverse logo shirt, like a black shirt with the Mythoverse tree on it.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's something that I'm gonna make and mail off to Tet. He was the backer who put us over the edge with a massive donation. So he's going to get the first of that prototype.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yep. So any simple like vector-based design, we should be able to mass produce at home, within reason, of course.
Mm-hmm. With I think at this point it'd be safe to say we'd be doing that stuff on demand, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that would probably be make the most sense, I would think.
Hmm.
I would love to. Well, Althea probably would be out of the three, Althea probably would be the easiest. But I would definitely be down to see an Adobe jacket, or even an Adobe hoodie with that paladin.
Yeah, we want to make the Crusader hoodie. It's just a
Nice.
matter of the way I want it to be is I want the stripe to go all the way over the top of the top of the hood
Nice.
and back down the rear of the hoodie and if possible have them line up front to back, but that may be a little bit too complicated to mass produce.
Yeah, that's pretty ambitious, but sure would look
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, for the book trailer where I had an actress play Adobe, I actually did make a white hoodie with the Crusader cross on the back only because she was being filmed from the back. So I didn't bother to make it up front. So we sort of have we sort of have a prototype of the Adobe hoodie. It's just incomplete.
Nice.
But yes, I would love to make a Crusader hoodie. I mean, I've had a number of people say that they would buy it.
Yeah, I could see that. That actually would be a really iconic one to go along with the Maeve hoodie, and it makes me wonder what kind of thing could be done for Althea. Maybe her. Go ahead.
Oh, we're thinking about something.
Nice, cool. I'm glad to hear you guys are kind of tossing those ideas around.
Well, Beth's been wanting to give her more options in outfits, so I'm pretty sure we're going to end up with one that's going to be more iconic.
Okay, well, yeah.
That sounds awesome. The problem is Althea has to play her cards close to the chest because she's sort of undercover.
Yep.
So she can't go around saying, "Hey, I'm a magic user." Oops. Why are there cuffs on my hands all of a sudden?
Yeah, that probably wouldn't work so well, would it?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, come on. John Constantine has a pretty low-key yet iconic design. Like
True.
that suit and that trench coat. It's like that's like where else? I mean, you look at that. That's him. That's his look.
And the blonde shock of hair.
Well, he's supposed to look like Sting.
Which is always thought was so funny because I kind of see it in some of the not Tim Bradshaw. Who's the other guy? There's an early cover artist they did for like the first part, and I totally get some of those vibes of Sting, but in the comic, I don't know. It doesn't really look like Sting all that much to me in the actual comic itself. What do you guys think?
There's probably going to be some differences to the actual person.
True.
Mainly,
they can't. Yeah.
They didn't know how cool he'd be about it.
Yeah, they couldn't 100% use as a likeness, obviously.
True, yeah, but it is interesting to see the kind of different artist interpretation. Like that one artist who did a lot of the covers initially. You see a John with that really frizzy hair, like really really curly, emphasizing it and how crazy his hair is. But I think it's a little more low key in most of the interior artists in renditions. A little more just like a regular haircut.
Yeah, it seems like what it would. I would say though. I would say though it seems like Matt Ryan did a pretty good job of appropriating the look for the TV show.
Yeah, seriously, the look and the voice, he just nailed it.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially considering that he's Welsh, not English.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I really wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah. No, Matt Ryan's Welsh.
That's funny, and he is the definitive Constantine now, forever, and any visual medium like other than comics, he's the guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone else could probably play Constantine in anywhere else. I mean, they even got him to do the voice for the animated Justice League Dark movie.
Yeah, and the new Hellblazer City of Demons miniseries that he was also in that as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool to see him still getting to play that character, even though the live action show didn't quite make it. But yeah, it's interesting. He what was I gonna say? Keanu Reeves played. You remember Keanu Reeves playing the character?
Yeah.
Oh God.
taken on its own terms, it's not a bad movie. It just has no business being associated with the Constantine name.
That's true. Yeah. That is a good point.
I mean, that scene where he's floating up to heaven and then he slowly flips off the devil. I mean, come on, that's an iconic moment, even if it isn't like a true Hellblazer movie.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he kind of did that. He kind of did that in the comics too. Like after his cancer got cured, like he gave the first Earth the finger. And then he immediately went back to smoking.
Only Constantine.
The Constantine movie was kind of like a supernatural John Wick when you look at all the action sequences.
It was
I mean, aesthetically, it was fun. I loved his crucifix shotgun. That was cute. But you know,
it's totally but like you said, it's totally not in line with the original feel. You know,
it's not a real Hellblazer movie.
No, it's a Constantine movie, which is why they call it Constantine and not Hellblazer. It definitely feels like more like the newer Constantine stuff coming out of DC as opposed to the older Hellblazer stuff, which I always liked how John Constantine was such a trickster and would rely on his wits more than anything.
Yeah, like he rarely used magic too. Like he was.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it was a Vertigo title and they could do whatever they want. DC is more action superhero oriented, so of course you're going to have more action involved and more magic.
That's true. It's
At least they kind of kept his personality and intact to a point.
To a point, yeah. To me, it is unfortunate just because of the whole. It has to be for more of a teen audience than a mature audience. They can't quite push the limits that they used to push in the original.
I wouldn't say teen audience, more like a more general audience.
True. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. So yeah, it's you don't see them pushing the boundaries in dark places. You don't see them. Obviously, can't see them swearing. Like
especially in a book called Justice League Dark of all things.
Although I think that their Black Label will allow Hellblazer to continue.
Do you think they would relaunch it with a Black Label?
Yeah, it's meant for a mature audience, and Hellblazer definitely fits that audience.
Now that I think about it, Animal Man got pretty gruesome in places.
Really?
Anyone remember Ares' death scene in the Marvel event Siege?
I don't.
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
He was brutally torn apart by Sentry. And I think that was a two-page kind of moment.
Like a two-page spread of just utter destruction.
Yeah, basically it was, you saw organs, blood.
Nice. This was like Berserk style.
Yeah, Ares was torn, not limb from limb, but in two from both sides of his body.
So you would say you might say he was eviscerated.
Yep.
Jeez, yeah, it's pretty dark for was that, you said that was DC?
That was Marvel.
That was Marvel.
It was their Siege event.
Yeah, that's a little dark for them. They don't usually go that dark.
Nope.
Now, this is kind of out of left field, but did you guys hear about Cosmic Ghost Rider? Have you guys heard of that character?
I know of it. I haven't.
I've heard.
This is the weirdest character. It got to be the weirdest character I think of all time, practically. It's Frank Castle, who becomes Ghost Rider and goes into outer space to chase Thanos and gets the cosmic power and gets from Galactus and becomes the cosmic space or Ghost Rider.
That sounds like an extremely fun one-shot concept. I would eat that up.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Although I believe it is an ongoing as opposed to a one-shot, so hopefully they don't have to say they're welcome.
Yep.
But one of the storylines involves him going back in time to try and kill baby Thanos. That's when I first heard about it, when I read the article about that. I was like, okay, that's interesting. He can't.
That never works anyway.
Yeah, it never works, and it's in the state. They did the stupidest reason. I think he couldn't kill a baby or something. He's like, oh, I can't do it.
Well, if you want to stop Thanos from becoming the Mad Titan, just steal baby Thanos and raise him, to be...
He tried that first.
He tried that first.
It didn't work.
Well, let's put it this way: it's Frank Castle raising a kid.
Exactly. It's freaking Frank Castle raising a Thanos. How well can that go?
He actually probably caused Thanos.
I think so. Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. Oh, well, to be honest, if it was Frank Castle before he became a Punisher, that'd be different because he was actually able to raise a kid back then.
Right. That would be, but then he wouldn't be the Punisher, so it wouldn't work. But yeah, so that was just my tangent. I just wanted to bring that up. And before we get back to Mythoverse, I just want to real quick go on one more tangent because I've been asking this to everybody on the stream today. Have you guys seen Godzilla yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed it on.
We talked about it on the first Radio Mythoverse, in fact.
Yeah.
I must have missed it. What'd you guys think?
I think Matt's the only one who hasn't seen it.
Oh wow!
You still haven't seen it, Matt?
No, I've been busy.
Okay.
I will say, after seeing it, I am actually considering classifying film critics as legally retarded.
They've always been that way, though.
Yeah, there's
And
certain
plus-
movies. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Plus, their primary concern with the film is that there wasn't enough human interaction. And the monsters didn't take center stage until like 40 minutes into the film. There was plenty, and I would argue too much human interaction.
Yeah, I had a friend who thought there actually could stand to be more kaiju fights.
Yeah, I was like, when are they going to start fighting? I'm looking at my watch. It was a half hour into the film already. And they hadn't even gotten to the scene where you see Godzilla for the first time, aside from in that opening sequence.
I would say I didn't like the human interaction did not bother me enough. Like it at least kept things moving. It at least didn't overstay its welcome for me. And I would say that they did a good job building up to the final fight. Like it was all I wanted this movie to be was an apocalyptic kaiju wrestling match, and I got that. I'm happy.
Right? That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like, man, that final. Well, we won't spoil anything, but some of the destruction that you see, like world destruction, is like on another level. It's like, whoa, this is insane.
And Godzilla really got a chance to escalate up to the ultimate badass toward the end.
Yeah. And there was a lot more. You like to see a lot more Godzilla than in the first one. So that was nice too. So yeah, I loved it.
How about Bryan Cranston? Was there more Bryan Cranston?
Yeah, there was about 100% more Bryan Cranston, dead Bryan Cranston. he was in the background for every shot. You just didn't see him.
Well, I listened on that one.
Right. Yeah, they definitely, I think, didn't advertise the wrong stuff this time, which was good. They emphasized the right stuff in the advertising. And the creatures are just really cool. So yeah, definitely recommend it, Matt, if you get the chance. Go check it out.
Yeah, you get to see all kinds of kaiju. Because the conceit in this film is that there are like maybe 24 of them all told that we can identify, and that they were following an alpha. And there's a second alpha. Let's just put it that way.
And if you're familiar with the Toho movies, then you probably know who it is.
Precisely. Yeah, they were pretty faithful to it. They basically said, "Hey, we know why you guys watch these films, so here's everything you like. Please tell people it's good, and so that they will pay to see it."
Yeah, there's so many good Easter eggs in it. Like there's one in particular that was I'm not sure how many people caught it, but do you remember the Chinese scientist Chen?
Yes.
There's a part where she appears in one location, and then all of a sudden it appears like she's in a completely different city across the world. But what they pointed out was that those characters are actually based on the fairy characters from the original Mothra movie, and that they're actually
the
twin
twins.
sisters. Yeah,
nice.
Twin sisters.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that is cool. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that was a very subtle one.
And I've had a huge crush on that actress since Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh, that's funny. She was in that one, huh?
Yeah.
She's a Chinese superstar. She's very big over in China.
She hasn't aged a day. I mean, she looks exactly the same as she did in that movie. She still looks like a porcellan doll.
She's so Asian. Funny. What do you expect?
Yeah. They're lucky. They're blessed with the good genes.
The only reason why Jackie Chan looks like a train wreck was because of all the stunts.
I'm amazed his body is still in one piece.
He trains.
Yeah.
He did all his own stunts, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
broke every bone in his body.
Yeah, and he nearly killed himself. He nearly killed himself in Armor of God.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah, guys like Jackie Chan, they train like all the time.
Yeah, he kind of makes. He's kind of like he was doing it before even Tom Cruise was really doing it. You know, he was the real OG doing the stunts out there.
Mm-hmm. not only was he a great stuntman, he understood action comedy better than anyone that I've seen in the recent decades. Like, he knew how to make action funny. And you can tell the difference between his Hong Kong films and his American films, how the American films get very similar shots wrong, and there's less humor in them because of how they're shot.
Huh. Yeah.
There's this great video on YouTube that compares like his rush hour scenes to similar scenes in his Hong Kong films, and just how much more humorously shot they are in the Hong Kong films because Jackie had more control over those.
Yeah, those are good ones. I like those ones. But I was wanted to say we got some more activity in the chat going on. Earlier, someone said Cosmic Ghost Rider. I've heard of him, but never actually read that series yet. That was Neostar Productions. Says it kind of sounds like something you'd see in Marvel 2099 stories. And then Cody from Ironverse Comics, he's jumped in the chat. What's up, Cody?
Hey, Cody.
And
Hey, Cody.
Neostar says, if you go to a Godzilla film and you're asking for more screen time for the people, there might be something wrong with you.
It's not really what those films are.
Exactly,
yes.
dude. And which is so weird that the critics that's like the one big complaint from critics. It's like, you really don't get this, do you?
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason that it's the longest running film series in history. There's like 35 films in the Godzilla franchise now. It's because they know what the fans want. Usually. I mean, Godzilla in 1998 does not count.
Right. Yeah, that's it's funny because as a kid I really enjoyed it, but looking back on it, it's just there's not enough. It's like there's too much people. There's too much human interaction going on.
Godzilla in there was disgraced as well.
Yeah, and Godzilla having those little babies was like Velociraptor babies was kind of strange.
Yeah, well, he was trying to one-up Jurassic Park, obviously.
Oh yeah.
There needed to be a scene where the people were fighting velociraptors.
The only thing you need to take away from that movie is that Toho got the rights to that monster just so they could kill it in Final Wars.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, he appeared on screen for like 40 seconds before he was killed.
Didn't they call him the American Kaiju or American Godzilla?
They called him Zilla.
Zilla.
Yeah, it's like they wouldn't even give him the dignity of giving him a proper name.
Yeah, here's how it goes. He's the second monster Godzilla fights in that movie. The first is Gigan, and he just blows his head off. When he fights Zilla, he's in Sydney. Zilla tries to charge him. Godzilla blasts him, but he jumps, intending to go for a high jump kick. Godzilla just smacks him with his tail. He crashes into the Sydney Opera House, and then Godzilla annihilates him with another nuclear blast.
The Sydney Opera House, did it make it? I'm guessing that's a no.
I bet Zilla wishes he had atomic breath.
He did in the cartoon.
He what?
He did in the cartoon.
Oh, okay. Well, he didn't in the film, so.
No, he didn't.
They had a cartoon based on the film, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It was kind of a sequel, and a lot of people kind of remember it fondly. At least it was more faithful to Godzilla.
Huh, interesting.
So you know who did the voice the growling for Zilla in the '98 Godzilla movie?
Right.
Megatron, Frank Welker.
Interesting piece of trivia. I did not know that.
Pretty good talent there.
Yeah, I looked it up, and wow, this guy's in everything.
Yeah, it's funny because it kind of reminds me of an article I was reading about the motion capture guy who does the new Godzilla movie, and it's funny. They're saying how this guy's like the unsung hero of motion capture because he played Iron Man and he played Groot and he played Godzilla and he played all these different mocaption characters.
Oh yeah,
it's so interesting that these kind of people who do all this work and don't necessarily get the spotlight.
Yeah, voice actors tend not to, unfortunately.
Not true. Not true. Not unless, well.
Anime is a little different, though. I feel like anime voice actors are a little more well known.
Yeah, I mean, Frank Welker, you know him as Megatron, but he was also Fred from Scooby-Doo, Jabberjaw. Dr.
Well,
Claw.
he was just an insanely talented voice actor. Like, did you ever watch a video where he goes through all the different sounds he can make?
Yeah.
Like, all those mechanisms that you would see in Scooby Doo, those were all voiced by him.
Yeah, I mean, here they get Pierre Cullen back for the Transformers movie, but they don't get Frank Welker back. They get Hugo Weaving, of all people, as Megatron.
Hugo Weaving.
Welcome, Mr. Prime.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
The only good thing about Age of Extinction was that they course corrected on Megatron's voice and got back Frank Welker.
Wasn't that the one with Mark Wahlberg though?
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, it wasn't so much him that was the problem. It was the
whole
bad
movie?
story. The bad story. There was no.
Michael Bay's not known for his deep stories generally.
Yeah, and my biggest problem with those movies were the lack of characterizations for the Transformers.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting point because the Godzilla movies, I read an article where they talked about how for the new one, they emphasize how every creature has a personality, and I thought that was a really interesting take on it. Like, maybe they didn't necessarily do that as much in the Transformers series.
Well, I think they are course correcting with Bumblebee when they gave more emphasis to the Transformers than the humans.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see it. Is Bumblebee out yet, or is that one still coming?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's been like a minute since I've seen the Transformers movies. I think the last one I saw was probably The Dark Side of the Moon, I think.
Well, they are course correcting in many different ways, such as they gave back classic G1 designs to many characters, including Optimus Prime.
So you can recognize who they are.
Yep. And at the very end, spoiler alert, you see Prime in his classic vehicle mode.
The red flat face semi.
Yep.
With the trailer and everything, huh?
Yep. The trailer has the classic G1 design as well.
That's cool. Actually, I haven't seen Bumblebee, but from what I understand, it's a similar plot to Iron Giant.
Pretty much. It's what the first Transformers movie should have been.
Interesting. Yeah, like if they had taken the time to do like a standalone first, maybe, or something.
Yeah, well, Bumblebee was the star of the first 3 Transformers movies.
He was the star, yeah, that's true. So, I mean, it would be kind of hard to go back and do something before that, yeah.
Yep. But from what I understand, they're retconning. It was a soft reboot kind of movie.
I don't think anyone will mind if all those films are retconned out of existence.
Well, considering the fact that last night depicted Bumblebee being in World War II, killing Nazis.
Wait, what?
Oh, last night had the Transformers around even longer than the first Transformers movie. All of them were in all of humanity's conflicts since the time of King Arthur.
I don't like that. King Arthur? What the hell? Yep. There was no cars in that time. What the hell? I guess they wouldn't. If there was no cars, they wouldn't be cars. It would just be like Beast Wars, I guess, right? They'd become what they see as the dominant life form, I guess. So
pretty much, but it was just such cringe.
Yeah, I can imagine. Were you guys much fans of Beast Wars growing up? It was one of my big ones when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was after my time.
Was it?
I didn't have cable at the time, so but I caught it when it was on Netflix. I will say if the worst thing you can say about it is that the CG animation is dated.
Oh,
that's like. I mean, like I said, it's got the CG animation looks very primitive. I mean, it looked good for the time, but really, that's the worst thing you can actually say about it.
True.
Yeah, they had a lot of good writers on there too.
Yeah, I always liked that show. It was cool.
Simon Thurman, who developed a lot of the Transformers mythos during his time on Marvel Comics, wrote some episodes, and they incorporated a lot of his ideas into the show, such as the alien race known as the Vok. They're they're basically what a race that Thurman created in Generation 2 called the Swarm. What they turned into after Optimus Prime introduced them to the light in the Matrix. And it was also the first time they mentioned Primus in a TV show.
So that character had already been created before the show?
Well, there was a lot of homages to previous Transformers works.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
Yep.
I
So
love
it was really cool based on that.
Yeah, I know. I loved how. I mean, just growing up, I wanted to be a paleontologist because I probably because I watched Jurassic Park about 100,000 times. But I love that's. I mean, I love that aspect. I mean, freaking isn't Optimus Prime a T Rex?
I thought he was an ape.
Oh yeah, he's a gorilla. Yeah, so he's the gorilla.
Megatron was the T-Rex.
Okay, Megatron was the T-Rex and he was the gorilla. That's right. Yeah,
Which is kind of funny because of Frank Welker voicing Zilla.
Kind of a interesting small world there.
Well, although they didn't get back the original voice actors.
For which one? For the movies?
No, for Beast Wars they didn't have Pierre Cullen or Frank Welker.
True. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why they chose to do that.
Well, Beast Wars was made up in Canada for one.
And these were different characters as well.
Yeah,
that's true. It's not Optimus Prime. It's Primus, right? It's
Primal.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and it's also not even the same Megatron. It's a completely different character who just uses the name.
Yeah, and I think at the end of it, I think if I'm remembering correctly, at the end of the series, they have there's a huge earthquake, and they end up evolving into the next stage of creature.
Kinda.
I don't really remember.
It's interesting because I remember when Beast Wars first came out as a toy line, and Optimus Primal was a bat, and Megatron was a alligator, and these were the same characters as Optimus Prime and Megatron.
Actually, here's a little fun thing for you. You guys know about Waspinator?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing with Waspinator. The staff actually hated him. Because of the way he talked and the voice that Scott McNeil had to use, it took too long to record his lines, but they were contractually obligated to include him in episodes because of the toy line. So they found a way to technically fulfill that and have to use them as little as possible. Basically, they would write any way they could to get him out of the show as quickly as possible. And here's the funny part. Because they ended up turning him into a chew toy, he ended up becoming a fan favorite.
Yep.
Really? Huh.
Because when the second season rolled around and they actually had the option to kill characters off, they decided we actually kind of want to keep him.
It's like the Yamcha effect or something. It's like you beat him down enough and he becomes a fan favorite.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, yeah. Sometimes it can work out for the best like that, unexpected surprise.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think this might be a good opportunity. We got some people in the chat. Cody's here. I don't know if you guys can pull up the YouTube video.
I can. I have it open right now.
Cool. If you want to turn on sound, I'm going to go ahead and debut the Wikid theme song. So once I get that ready, we'll go quiet on the chat so everyone can listen to the theme song. Written and performed by Laguna Munta. Here's the intro. In 3, 2. There we are. Cody says, Iron Rouge Comics. Oh yeah, we have sound, and of course, as always, Laguna delivers.
Yep. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and that's the intro. So at the end of the show, stick around. When we go out, we're going to be playing out the outro song, which is this another similar length song, but with the same kind of themes, but more of an airy outro feel to it. So
Awesome.
it'll be fun to listen into as well. But yeah, we're me and Matt were really excited when we got that back from Laguna, and we were able to. I mentioned this already a couple of times because I previewed it earlier in the show. But part of the inspiration between a song like that was that we wanted it to cross genres, and kind of to represent how Wikid Publishing crosses genres and has a little bit of something for everyone. So that kind of was the inspiration behind that creation there. But yeah, no, it was cool, and who knows, maybe we'll get some more stuff done by Laguna down the line. Maybe some remixes or some new stuff. We'll see.
But yeah, I guess to bring it right back to the Mythoverse, like I said, I think the only thing of real note to talk about is we should have the money by the middle of next week, and we've got a release date set for the 21st of September, so everyone mark your calendars for that. And actually, we even talked about holding a little bit of a launch party that day.
Really? What kind of a launch party did you have in mind?
The kind with blackjack and hookers, I'm guessing.
Hookers and blow. Classic.
Yeah.
Hopefully one where everyone in the Discord gets in just a little bit, because that's gotta be an event the community can't miss.
Yeah, we've been building up to it for well over a year now. So when it's finally real and the books are physical and you can hold them, it's going to be something special.
So do you see that the launch day video, is it going to be on the actual day that you ship we ship books, or is it going to be? Is that what you guys had in mind? I guess, or.
Well, I'm guessing we'll do the launch party after all the backers have had their orders shipped out at the very least, and because we can't control when they actually receive them. Mm-hmm. But once all the orders are shipped out and that's as far as we can go, I would say that's a good time to celebrate.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. You want to make sure that the backers have been fulfilled and are have no issues with their books before go ahead and celebrating.
Yep, I would say so.
Yeah, that's fair. Can't count your chickens before they hatch and all that.
Nope. Yeah, we're gonna do our best to make sure that there are as few issues as possible, and if there are issues, which is unavoidable, that everyone knows about them.
So yeah, I mean, what can you guys share about where you guys are at right now in terms of production and whatnot?
Adobe's about halfway done in terms of the artwork. Leandro is working on page 11 out of 24. He just showed one panel with Adobe deflecting bullets, which is absolutely badass, and that's only the very beginning of the action sequences. So there's that. And once the artwork is finished, Eric Weathers will be lettering it, and he works very fast. So I don't imagine it would take too long for him to put in all the dialogue and the sound effects.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. I just saw that. I think it was Leandro who posted it. It said Adobe and the art of what was it, deflection or something like that?
Deflection, yeah. She's basically she's taking a hail of bullets.
That was awesome. I love that shot, dude.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool action in issue 1, and issue 2 it's going to ramp up even more.
Nice.
And there's going to be some Easter eggs in it for those that can spot them, but I'm not really going to worry if anyone misses them. They're there for my edification and a few people that I've been working with. So
I hope I'll probably have to dive in there and read it a couple times because I'm the kind of guy who gets obsessed with the shared universe and loves to find all those hidden Easter eggs.
yes, there's going to be a number of important things set up in this issue 1 in the middle of all the action, and it's going to have long-reaching ramifications later on down the line.
Nice.
So that's where I sit. So
very good. Sounds like a good spot to be at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And how are things going on your end, Matt?
Well, I talked to Beth about how long it'll take to get the pages done. She quoted about 2 to 3 weeks. So I'd say expect updates when we start working on them. We've currently got some cool things going on, such as cosplay pics for Althea.
Ooh. Color me intrigued.
And character designs that we need to work out a little bit further before we go into the actual writing, the actual drawing of the pages.
Okay, nice. So making good progress then.
Yep, and the cosplay illustrations also include. I will also have Maeve and Adobe in a couple of them.
Nice.
And they're not just cosplay pictures; they're pictures that sort of illustrate the theme of their relationships to one another, which is pretty intriguing.
Yep.
So I'd like to. I guess I should clarify. When you say cosplay photos, because I've been seeing this crop up, like the Regina cosplay. Do you see it as kind of like the Regina cosplay photos that have been popping up?
Yeah, though I figure that'd be the best to have the first ones be more reflective of Althea as a character.
Interesting.
Yep, yeah, so there's gonna be 4 of them coming out soon.
And how will people be able to get a hold of those?
Well, I'm going to start putting up. I started putting up the sketches on my Patreon first, which I'm going to do. Have a 1 week delay, so on I believe it'll be Thursday that I'll put up on Twitter the first sketch.
Okay, nice. Yeah, kind of reach a wider audience that way.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I definitely looking forward to that as well. It sounds like you guys, like I said, you guys are making good progress, so it should be moving along nicely. Now, I wanted to ask you, do you think we can share that little thing maybe got coming out in soon? Matt?
Little thing? You mean the Mythoverse short story?
Yeah, that little thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's going to expand the lore of Mythics for the most part.
Nice.
And, it'll introduce how the spirits how they document their history through tales rather than writing them down books and stating dry facts.
And so it'll be a good way to kind of expand on that, like you said, Mythics and the Mythoverse. And the plan is to have it set to come out in the first issue of the Wikid magazine.
Yep, which I've got the deadline of 8 days from now.
Better get cracking, man. I gotta get that whip out.
Well, you've already seen the outline, so
yeah, that's true.
Hard part over.
That reminds me of the early trailers for the Simpsons movie. It says coming September 2008 or whenever, and then Homer says, "Woo, we better get started."
I remember that.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I remember the thing I remember about the movie was him getting stuck between a rock and a hard place. I had that bit there.
And then there's that moment during the credits where Maggie says her first word and sequel.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any similarity between, or if Baby Maeve and her would get along,
Oh, the next Mytho Chibi's comic showcases another glorious interaction between Baby Maeve and Adobe, and Elthea this time gets involved.
Nice.
Can I just say, Antonella is a priceless find. Like what she's able to do with our scripts, how she brings them to life with so much character. She's amazing. I'm so glad that she's working with us.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's I just read the latest comic with the cat that shows up, the thing from under the bed, and it's so good. Like from Maeve's little scared face, it's like, oh, so cute, and then she sees the cat, and it's like all scary, and then she like just starts tickling it, just like in like in the first issue, and it's just like it's such a fun moment.
Yeah, she just glomps that demon cat. And says, kitty!
So adorable.
Yeah, it's. I guess I've had some people say that segment has a little bit of early Rugrats feel.
Yeah, I can see that. yeah, that's fun. It's funny how people have taken to Baby Maeve as a character so well.
Yeah. Only one thing.
Well, she is kind of adorable.
She is. I mean, it makes sense, but it's funny. For me at least, she came out of left field. Like I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah.
So and now we have I guess out of all of them, we've seen Maeve in the most ages so far. We've seen Baby Maeve, Teenage Maeve, and Adult Maeve, or like older Maeve.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Now we need an old lady Maeve.
Old lady, powerful wizard, or powerful changeling Maeve.
Yeah, but do we really want to do what the big two are overdoing?
No.
Not really. But I guess we're getting close to the end of the hour here. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on in the next couple weeks and all that good stuff.
Well, expect a new Mytho Chibi strip every week, posted every Wednesday at mythoversecomics.com. Follow us to get notifications of when they will be published. Our artists are just going to continue working on our books. Leandro is killing it as always. He's got all the pages laid out, and I've approved all the designs. So now it's just a matter of getting them done.
Wow.
And and if you're not in our Discord, if you're not a backer yet, we will eventually be opening more general invites. We do plan to include a QR code in our books that will allow you to enter our Discord. From there, that's primarily first where all of our updates will go there and on the campaign. So
I think that's a cool idea.
Yep. That was Brett's brainwave there to put the QR code in our comics. And interestingly enough, we could also assign community roles that way automatically, thanks to the bot we have installed.
Yeah, we just gotta tinker with them a little bit.
Yeah, so there was a pretty cool idea to say, hey, if you join from an Adobe Kroger comic, you get a Paladin role assigned to you, and if you join from a Mythics comic, you get a Mythics role. These are all ideas that we're kicking around.
That's fun, yeah. Yeah, I like that idea. It'd be cool. It'd be fun, something to throw around later, like down the line once you have those things established. Like send them like a little PDF or like I don't know, some sort of like ID card or something kind of like to bring them into that whole world. Kind of what I'm getting at, maybe.
Yeah, it's like, how do you identify yourself in this world? Like, how would you like to role play? Would you like to be a fae?
That role playing aspect, totally.
Would you like to be a mythic? Would you like to be a paladin? And it's kind of a choose your destiny thing. That's kind of why we named those tiers that in the campaign.
That's fun, yeah. Well, that's cool. And then what about you, Matt and Brett?
I guess all I can say is I'm just focused on seeing that the first issue of Changeling gets written. I'm also working on revising the script for the second issue.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I've more or less laid out the plots for the first volume.
Oh wow! Okay, so you're really far into the story then.
Yeah. Well,
nice.
When I say laid out the plots, I mean like what I did was I made a document which just had little brief plot outlines for each of the first 7 issues. So yeah, it helps me keep my thoughts straight.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, right now all I gotta do is just wait on Victor and Ginger to get the art on their end done, and hopefully everything clicks into place. I got faith in them.
Yeah, they always deliver, don't they?
Yeah.
And then, Matt, what you got going on?
Well, aside from the short story, the writing for issue 2, I've got a complete outline for the first volume where it's going to be, if God forbid Vivix doesn't take off, this can be one volume that can be enjoyed on its own, and you won't feel like you've been stuck on this giant cliffhanger.
You won't, or you will?
No, it won't.
It won't feel like that. You'll get a nice conclusion to that.
Yeah. Basically, I've got 2 endings set up. One is we'll move into the next story arc, while another ending, depending on how feedback goes with Mythics and amount it takes by issue 5, that'll be the conclusion.
Okay, wow, yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I like that you've got it kind of really laid out like that.
Yeah, it's as depressing as it sounds. Unless you've got a big name attached to you, any comic, it's a 50-50, but I have faith that I will make it. We made it on our first campaign.
We have a good community built under us now. It's only going to get better.
Yeah, we've got ourselves very well positioned. We closed out a very successful campaign on our first try, no less, and we walked away with a good backer pool too. Well, and we've got people who are dedicated fans in our Discord. I honestly, like I said, I'm not gonna say it's foolproof. Nothing is, but outside of us majorly fucking up, I don't really see how this can fail.
Nice.
Yeah, as long as we deliver our books on time, that's our next big task.
Luckily, you got Wikid on to have your back on that front, and we've gotten a lot of experience with Cody and other campaigns, and so
Wikid's getting a nice little catalog going here.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, it's cool to see everyone getting success and stuff.
Yeah, Cody's was a trial by fire because of how big he exploded.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning curve for everyone. I think it was. We learned a lot on that campaign to take to the next several ones.
Yeah, I think the next campaign we end up running will definitely, like I said, we've taken a lot of things that we learned from this one, and we're probably going to run an even better one.
Yeah, I think so. Just I've had some ideas about how we could handle international shipping, because I think we would have ended up with a lot larger of a total if we were able to fulfill physical rewards internationally, which I know is always a challenge, but I've been thinking of ways that we might be able to pull it off.
Nice. Well, I guess that about wraps up our time here. Where can people follow you guys online so they can check out more about your work?
I'm at Celtic Brett on Twitter.
I'm at Molly_Beans on Twitter.
And I'm at Matt Trin on Twitter.
And do any of you guys have YouTube channels that you'd like to plug or anything like that?
Yeah, we do have the Mythoverse YouTube channel.
The official Mythoverse YouTube channel where we post stuff like the trailers and the Nanmei, but we're also using it for our weekly Radio Mythoverse live stream, which we do with our Discord.
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link to the channel in case anyone cares to subscribe to it. We'll be doing like Brett said, a weekly podcast, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern.
6 p.m. if you're on Pacific Standard.
And our last one went really well. We had a lot of cool discussions because we're running the audio from our Discord server. So anyone that's a member of the server can hop in and chat with us while we're streaming.
Nice.
And
that's cool. It's like a private chat for the streams.
Precisely. We had a lot of good discussions about a lot of different topics, from John Wick to Godzilla to Black Widow to you name it, whatever happened to come up. And while we're doing this, I will be streaming a game. Last week it was Stardew Valley and Shadow Tactics, but it could be anything.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Oh, I also ordered a new HDD from Newegg that should be arriving hopefully very shortly. It's an 8 terabyte Seagate. If and when like there's a day Dan can't do it, I should be able to pull string duty.
Beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, I love that Radio Mythoverse stuff you guys do. It's such a fun idea, and cool way to tie a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, we're hoping to build the community that way and create a better sense of community for those that backed us early on by giving them, access to the voice channel during the stream.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll go ahead and also plug your guys's. They also have the Twitter for the Mythoverse itself.
Oh yes, also that too. That one's more of a general. We use that more for general updates.
There we go. And I guess that about wraps it up. Next time, obviously we got the audio working this time, but the video wasn't working. So next time we got the live stream up, we'll make sure to have both the audio and the video component back the way it used to be.
I would honestly say that that Ori cover would work perfect.
As in terms of what you mean?
Just to give the podcast a little visual flair.
Oh, interesting. Kind of like as a background, almost.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I could really see that. Yeah, and put the kind of the text and other overlays on top.
Yeah, you can actually set up a slideshow in OBS, so you can have like all the Wikid titles sort of cycling through.
Nice. Yeah,
that would be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
It's like OBS has a bit of a learning curve, but once you get past it, you're never going to want to use anything else.
Yeah, I feel like that. There's a lot of features to it, but yeah, it does seem like it takes some getting used to. It was such a hassle getting the audio to work last night. It was so weird, like the way I had to finagle it and go through OBS and then stream the Google Hangouts through my desktop audio, and then all of a sudden it randomly changed the stream key last night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to scramble to figure out what happened. And I was able to change it, and it worked fine. But yeah, it was like crazy. But that's the trials and tribulations you go through with the technology. So we'll get there. We'll figure it out. But like I said, we'll figure it out for the next stream. But as I said, we're gonna play the Wikid outro theme song as we go out. Everyone be on the lookout for the Wikid magazine coming out in July. There's a lot of great stuff, a lot of great interviews and articles with some of the people in the community that you guys are really going to dig. So please check that out and follow us at Wikid Publishing on Twitter. I guess I'll go ahead and drop that into the YouTube because I never do that. So here we are as well if you want to follow us on there. And here we go. We're going to, thanks everyone in the chat who joined us. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And then thank you guys, Mythoverse guys, for joining us as well.
Absolutely, anytime.
And we'll see you guys next time on the Wikid Weekend Podcast. Enjoy the outro theme song, guys.
Yep.
See you guys.
Bye.